I'm gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. I'm gonna tell you what is happening in Moravia. I'm gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. If the children cry for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. To spoon. To spoon. You from Fondema, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you get my prejudice, my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. To spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, Fajubati. Yes, Fajubati.
Okay, folks, time check in Liberia is 12 minutes up to 9 p.m. Wherever it is you watching us from. This is Spoon TV Live.
Yes.
We're also live on Fabric 101.1, Super 95.5, Spoon 107.5 FM, and a host of other stations relaying us all across Liberia. My name is Diamond Slanger. We do apologize for coming on a little bit late. That was due to some technical tweaking that needed to have been done to make sure we bring to you a good quality program that we always bring to you on the program. So we'll take a few minutes to go to the phone lines for Liberians to tell us what's on their minds quickly, as the rest of the panelists will definitely join us during the course of the show. A lot of things happening in Liberia, a lot of things happening. The show promises to be fun as always, promises to provide you with a lot of first-hand information as we always do. So we'll go to the phone lines quickly. Jeremiah Jala is watching us. OJ Oliver Nasua Jr. is following us. Massa Ricks is also watching us. Joseph Lai is following us as well. I want to say big congratulations to you there, Emmanuel Palin David of the Spoon Network. Today, you graduated with undergraduate degree, a bachelor's degree there from the University of Liberia. We want to say kudos to you, job well done. And to all those of you graduating as well, kudos to you and congratulations. But especially, I'm going out there to our very own Emmanuel Palin David. So hope you enjoy your day, and thank you for all of the work, all of the effort that you did put in. Congratulations to you, Emmanuel. 077771075, 055101075. Those are the numbers to call. Call in quickly, 1 minute per caller, and tell us what's on your mind. Hello?
Hello.
You live, please go ahead.
I'm Moruba calling from rehab.
Go ahead, Fit.
Yes, thank you for the program. But I just want to tell our brother, let us start me the brother about Cabinet Janet. For one people that will let Cabinet Janet, but now also reinstate Cabinet Janet. So we shouldn't be comparing Cabinet Janet with anybody case. Little party have refused to reinstate Cabinet Janet. So they will not be telling us because Cabinet Janet was But government control it. Why they can't reinstate it, man?
Okay. All right, sir.
Because we are government impeach it, man, so they will pay that to other people. If you know that reinstate it, man, then we can do.
Thank you. Point well made. Thank you. Let's take this next person here. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Damo.
Yes, sir. You're live. Please go ahead.
The name is friend Timothy at join from Turi.
All right.
Dan what my case. I make my recommendation to the government. I want the government to
I'm not hearing you.
I'm saying my recommendation to the government is about Semetua. I want the government to speed investigate Semetua and the 4 others that were alleged by the government.
Okay.
Then, for corruption. Corruption is one of the main things that is common in this country. So
thank you, sir.
We now have to make fun.
Thank you. Point well taken. Hello, you live? Please go ahead. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Damo.
How are you?
Yeah, okay. This from Fapodi.
Go ahead, Musa.
Yeah,
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so what on my mind today, I got to understand that we have people say we have the yellow machine. Yellow machine, bro, we know the total that we have, bro, in the country here. Okay, I said, I need to go fact check. The fact check, machine we have, bro, it will be till the 8th. But because the 8 in the morning, they only able to purchase 22. So now we know that we have government purchase 22 machine. And doing so we have that we say 1,000 teachers.
All right, my man. All right, sir. Thank you. Point well taken. You live on the radio. Your name and where you calling us from?
Damas Langa, this is Oscar. We're calling from Gompa City, Nima County.
Oscar, my brother, how are you doing?
I'm very good.
What's on your mind? The business community in Gompa?
I'm a man tonight how to do with the war and economic court. That man, when the president came to power, within a 3 months, he signed a war and economic court that those who committed atrocity against Liberians, they are going to be prosecuted. But say Senator Prince Johnson died out of emotional pain.
Well, are you diagnosing that he died from emotional pain? Are you did the autopsy? Like you wrote the death certificate?
My brother, you can speak louder than that. You know what is reporting.
No, I don't know. I'm asking you because you're on a public radio and you alluding the death of a statement who passed to that.
The video that I've been watching and the statement that was made by him before he could die. So it indicated to me that he died from emotional pain.
Okay.
So say he died, Slanga, the Walker Court had died down. So we want to call upon President Wakai. So one can make you to be who you are, and you make you to die out of emotional pain, and up to that the Walker Court had died down. So we are called upon you to see how best you can establish the Walker Court so people can be prosecuted.
All right, sir.
You don't need people free just alone.
Thank you. Point well taken. 077771075 055101075. Let's take this next person on the line. Hello, you live? Kindly go ahead.
I'm on.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, my dear brother?
I'm good. Please go ahead. What's on your mind?
Thank you. Damo, I come from Kowe.
You
see, Damo, when a man get a woman, and he continue lying to that woman that he want to marry that woman, and all of a sudden, he didn't lie until the woman get sense and go get another man who would decide to change her life around. That other guy who been lying to that woman to live in psychological trauma. That is why I was CDC Berlin going through today.
So woman did that thing to you, eh? You lied to the woman, you do the thing you promised her, she left you for different men.
The people, you know, they lie to Liberian people that
I thought you were speaking from experience.
They will be Coastal Highway, they will be Nigerian teacher, they will be hair factory. No, these guys say Buka. And I can only say the kind of psychological trauma they are going through. No, to see women who they say he can't see, and he's a dead car parking in garage, and you see the woman bringing 137 F moving equipment that will not former president we are again to rap plane to patrol Ivory Coast.
All right.
Now have to use it later, even keke.
All right, sir.
Be on the rap keke for a year to Sasa in Grand Crew. No.
the guys are going
They
to
got
come
your
out. We can
meeting
understand
here to
exactly
take
what
care for
they
you
are
to
going
start
through.
stuff.
But
I
the
mean,
thing is that this thing is about like real. And
Thank
now
you.
for Unity Party will be this country. Thank you.
Thank you. 077771075 101075. If you're talking about riding keke for you to start stuff. Like very people. Hello, your name, where you calling us from?
Damon, this is Nathan want to call from Lower Mangibi County.
You're welcome, Chief. Please go ahead.
Why on my mind this evening is our health sector. The sin or data in this country is getting too much. We cannot pay money to see personnel. We cannot pay money to see the health data. We cannot pay money to see all of the minister. But why to the local data then? And the hospital is good that they pay money to see data. You pay 25, you pay 60. This is killing this country. For us, talk for the go and go on in this country. Please, your picture of us, I beg you, is killing us.
Are you talking about consultative fee that people pay to see the doctor when you go to the hospital?
Yes, a kid of I get 2,000 to go to the hospital for treatment. Then it is a pay to see doctor.
Oh.
Where should I take that money to see doctor from? And we not pay money to see personnel. We not pay money to see the health minister. We not pay money to see the minister of transport.
I don't know from whence you speaking, but speaking from my personal experience, maybe you've been going to a public health provider, but the clinic that I do go to, you have to pay consultative fee. So I do not know where you're speaking from, so I cannot speak to it whether it's allowed or not. Yeah, but I'm speaking from my perspective that where I go to, I have to pay. You pay to see the doctor. It's part of the registration, or that you can see the consultative fee. So, but if you're speaking from a public health perspective, then I have to do more research on that and find out whether or not it's by the books. Yeah, but I won't pass on something that I have no idea.
It's very killing us in the country. Very killing.
All right, sir. Thank you. I'm not laughing at what you're saying. I take it very serious. But somebody in the back doing something to me that making me to lose focus. But thank you. Thank you very much. So as I said, I cannot speak to what he's saying, whether his service provider, his health service provider charges consultative fee. I cannot speak to that. Whether it's allowed in public hospitals, we have to do our investigation. Whether it's a side thing, we have to find out. But if you go to some hospitals, you do pay to see the doctor. Yeah, so that cannot pass on that. We'll follow up on that. 077771075, 05551101075. Those are the numbers to call. Let's take this person here. Hello. Hello. Hello.
So, Damon, how you doing?
I'm fine, sir. Neiman, where are you calling us from?
Calling from Congo County.
Please go ahead.
Damon, 2-3 things from my mouth. Firstly, let me tell you guys, thank you for the word doing. Also, the slow thank you. As I speak to you, I'm becoming bank. I'm the one bill higher since 2008. My contractor also.
Oh, are you building fence? Which part? The whole fence?
Way back. I'm the one building us two fence way back 2008.
Oh, thank you.
2008.
But we just put new portion there. The time they started building a road, it broke almost half of the fence. So
Dama, right now, as I speak to you, save my number and said it's still say the government that I build their fence way back. He just called me and told me I'm the one telling me about their fence way back. That one guy they called Daniel getting that contract. He told me, thinking you, yes, I'm a contractor and I even want contract from still. I've been wishing to tell him. But let me speak to what on my mind.
Yeah, we'll talk the contract on later.
Okay. Dama, this guy, what I want the government to do there, let me get to the government issue first. They killing the premature killing that's in the country. I want the government to start setting Lord Amo. If you kill someone instantly without reason, Dama, let it kill you. If you start people with left the way the old man started those children, those future generation future.
But we have due process now. I know you speak in your mind, but we have due process now. If emotions were to be used, we don't do the death penalty in Liberia anymore because we've signed on to several treaties and all that. So everybody gets a day in court. So, I want you to speak to the other thing that you got to talk about.
Okay.
Let me give you one
So
extra
now,
minute. Let just lead that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for now, when it comes to the yellow meeting, let me tell the president, thank you ever so much for a great phone because I monitor school every night. On the student station, I can monitor every night. I monitor school, and I really enjoy how Clinton can conduct his program and how he can talk to those guys.
Why you robbing them men to get you contract?
Yeah.
All right. So I will save your number, the contractor, because we have to let you go so that we can take at least 2 more callers. But I'll take your number and then we'll talk off air. Yeah. But all I want while you're talking, yeah, we want to yeah.
I mean, you start my show, Liver. Did I do something to you, man?
I mean, you can't do nothing to me, man.
But you start my show late. How you ever start my show late? You start the people program late. I'm like, you're a regime collaborator. Seriously,
you have to issue we needed to sort it out. If I were a regime collaborator, the show is
you what the guy named Richard Cool, right? Yeah, man. You start the people show late, my man. You got technical issues.
We have technical issues that are happening. You know about it.
We got technical issues. You can pick up your phone. I gotta let us straight up.
I'm waiting the transmitter room. How will pick up the phone?
You got battle. Do something new. I mean, you saw what 720 me today, right? Can you put that to you? I want to pray for 720. I want to do this. Do something new in my life. Something new in my life. Do something new in my life. I pray. Woo, do something new in my life. Yeah. Something new. What did I do to Samuel 12? Listen, we're going to ask fundamental question tonight. As we sing praises to the Lord, is it do something wonderful in my life? Woo!
May we service?
Something wonderful in my life. Look at my beautiful sister. Do something marvelous in my life. I pray. Woo! Do something new in my life. Look at my beautiful sister. Something new. Something surprising, Dama. Dr. Richardson don't know all the Liberians on it. The church Dr. Richardson attend, she or her husband. That the American church is where people they say, the Liberian song that I can put you in the Holy Spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, we praising the Lord. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah. She doesn't know the song. No way. No, that is song that can pour in Zigo. That is song. I am a good guy. I'm a good guy. I am a good guy. Hey, I'm a cookie. Hey, I'm a cookie. You don't know it. These songs are powerful traditional Liberian songs that can invoke the presence of the Holy Spirit. How can you go to church? You just say, Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace, a long time. I thought it was slave and thing. And at the end of the day, you said Amazing Grace. We are in the present day, the end time. We got to be on fire for Christ. But then I ask the question, ladies and gentlemen, what did I do to Summer 12? What did I do to D12? No. The man put my picture and the big man, vice president picture together. Come on, I want you to come in. I got to read what Samuel 12 say over there. And then we will talk about.
Let me call it. Yeah.
Because I want Philip. I will be in Zigo tonight, Philip. Samuel 12 woke up this morning. I was receiving phone call that the Richardson from all over. And the person was saying, what did you do to Samuel? I said, listen, I thought this guy was my friend. I thought we had rekindled a relationship.
I can hear you somewhere laughing.
The man attacked me. Very honest. Samuel 12 attacked me. Right?
Get best. Sorry.
No, I get best. I want to ask the Liberian people, what have I done to D12? What have I done to this man? We gave him 6 years of power and we remove him. We remove him based on the fact that his performance was decimal. What have I done to him? But let's ask the question now. What did government be answering Samuel 12 for? You know that relationship. I want us to go there. What the government persecuted? Do you know what that persecuted mean? Why are you persecuting me? If it doesn't fit, you must equate. You remember that, Dr. Richardson? You know who said that?
Yeah.
If it doesn't fit, you must equate. And we want to have the conversation tonight. Because you know what? I feel that Samuel 12 is persecuting me. Firstly, I just come on the thing to talk to the Liberian people. So my people do that bad thing I say, because when we were playing Samuel 12 in slow motion, and this is why I like slow motion, that Richardson. The slow motion. Take a look. So nothing in the video that making me to laugh. Why the guy putting the black hat on your friend here?
Oh, it's all I want to hear. Let me take it away, but I won't be able to any part.
Nothing make me laugh. The guy put the black hat and put it on his hair. I don't know that society. They may put the black hat on this, but take a watch. Just take a listen. We're going to be having a good show today. And again, today we're bringing the chairman of the ANC, Councilor Gu. I know Anthony Gu, Councilor Gu, but we're bringing ANC chairman here to talk more. Maybe we'll bring it on Saturday or Sunday. We got to be, man. I want to squeeze in. Because I'm indifferent Zigo tonight, that Richardson. We got to talk about, y'all listen to Amos White? Amos White said everything about allegation of corruption at LPRC, that blah. Amos, are you serious? You want to go to Amos? That means you must come back portion of that thing.
Jacob, how are you doing?
Amos White, are you serious? You think everything that blah, Amos White? No. We got document, Amos. We got document. And you know what? I got a breaking news for you tonight. Dr. Richardson. And I know Unity Party people are going to get angry with me, right? I must say it before I do it. We are looking at a project worth $5.1 million. Different project under this government. No. You know, I'm not going to listen. Today, I will take a position.
You scared
I'll take a position. Huh?
You scared of Samuel 12? You can talk plenty.
Samuel 12?
Yeah.
Me would be scared of Samuel 12. Do you know that I'm scared of any sedition? Not even the former sedition I only show Jacob Jala. I ain't afraid of him.
Hello, how you doing? I saw
Not
you
even the former sedition I only show. Me would be, Dr. Richardson, who in Liberia is scared of?
I know.
Even Gafwan came and said he wants to talk to the American for them to send state to who. You know Gafwan said that?
What?
I know. Yeah. Gafwan said you are meeting the American counterpart to send state to who.
Oh.
Yeah. You
I
know,
love the elephants in the background.
huh?
I love those elephants in the background. I know that elephant.
Yeah. Those elephants will soon come to life. They will soon come to life. Realize they. What the man said, that when you posted something, the man said the left's body is unresponsive. What did he say?
The method in left's body is unconscious.
It's unconscious. The left's body is unconscious. So leave the other journalists alone. I want to say to all of you, welcome to the show. But ladies and gentlemen, sorry, we got a few minutes to talk. Our Tabata, we started late though, but share the show. again, seriously, I woke up this morning, so many people calling me. Samuel Toy said, you know, he beefing with me, right? He having a problem with me. I don't know why. I got problem with nobody. You know, I respect the former president, George Manaway. I respect his wife. I respect the whole CDC group, you know. But yet still you have elements of, you know, some enemies, you know, that they don't like me. I understand that. They don't have to like me. It's just politics. You know, you don't have to like, even in Unity Party, we did everything President Baga win the election, Jacob. And the people that they don't let me. It's normal. They will not like you because you're talking that they are corrupt. So it's fine with me. You know, when you tell somebody, man, you're stealing the government money, they get bad. They say, you know, the party people, you don't go on spoon to or win less. But that's your business. They will stay calm. No problem. We here. You don't know what water you're cooking on. How the water can get there. So I got no problem. You don't like me, you will like me. You hate me, you will still like me. That grace. There is no myth in grace. You like me or you don't like me or you will like me by force, Jacob. You will still come back. There is no myth in grace. You know, people say, oh, sit on the pool and say, listen, guys, before we go into the thing, don't get bad when the people say, listen, the Bible says, and I love the Bible, I'm saying, even against you, falsely for my sake. You know what Jesus Christ said? Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted the prophet which were before you, yea, at the salt of the earth. But if the salt lost its saltiness, then in what place? So, my friend, rejoice when they speak evil against me. Rejoice when they lie on my name. Rejoice when 712 posts. Rejoice when the in position or opposition say the words of a stentor. Don't get angry. Rejoice. Rejoice. Because only you, the Liberian people, will depend on. You will make that change. Don't get angry. You was a stentor, you can't get vet. No. I can never get vet. I do this show, I go eat, I watch Netflix, I go to bed, I wake up the next morning. And I say, thank you, Lord. Don't get vet. The time will come, they will hear from us. I'm looking at this project worth $5.1 million, Jacob. I'm trembling looking at this project. Right? And those people are going to get back with me while I'm saying it. But hey, I have to, Jacob. You know, I have to. Look at the project. Look at the name of the project. I'm going to put it up. That one. Let me send it to you first. Because start saying the Dama will say, see you love. Dama will say, I'm going to put it up. I can guarantee you. Let me send the Dama.
You sent it to me, you can't say, oh, I'll see, man, I put it up.
Dama, I send it to you. Take a look. You want me to put it up? Dama will say no. I can guarantee you the man will say no. Dama will put it up.
What you say about this project now?
The Dama thing that he's transparent. If Dama thing that Jacob, if Dama thing that he's an independent journalist like me, I'm not a journalist.
Yes.
Dama, 5,036,100,000, something like that, right? Dama, got to figure that. 5.036 million, right?
Yeah.
And you see it? You want me to put it up, Dama?
But it's what you send me, Samuel 12 post. That's what you send
No, Dama. I'm
Oh.
sure that the people you do that. You want me to put it up?
Put it up.
Put it up, Chief. Put it up.
I give it to you. Go upload it. I give it to you. Upload it.
Dama
You put it up.
is
You
a
put it
proper
up.
journalist. He can be fair. You pull it up.
Dama, ladies and gentlemen, that Dama putting it up, but not me. That Dama that can be behind Jeremiah Kum. That he putting it up, not me.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Hey, yeah.
Let me this man. This is, but then we gotta cut the picture. You gotta take all the red and put under that picture up. You know, we leave it on, but do this. You know, yeah. Stand on last night. You played a doctor image in slow motion of me walking out of the courtroom yesterday to present to the public that I was dejected. That what you're saying?
Yeah.
Did I do that?
You know, I came on late now. I didn't see it. But you just showed it. I didn't see it.
Thank you, Dara Richardson. And that's why I love you for. You're always on my side.
Oh, I always want to try.
No, but the problem is that they start out the slow motion part now. So you want to tell me former Minister to are walking slow motion? I understand that part.
I didn't see it though. How was he walking? The music is slow, but is he walking in slow motion?
That reason.
The music is evoking a feeling, but I don't know about
the soundtrack on the African show soundtrack or what? I don't know.
Oh, the African show.
So which one on the thing heading up? Which one on the thing heading up?
Because the video is dotted.
So you're walking faster, Jefferson? Why we see it fast? You was walking faster than that?
Yes.
But you put out fast walking.
Not just faster, but more courageous than that.
But where's that video of him walking courageously?
But let them provide the actual video.
But the issue is that, Jeff. So even if Samuel Toy say we faced a video, can you show us a real video Samuel Toy coming from the courthouse?
Oh man, we don't owe it to you to show you no video.
So, but then we owe it to you that you saying that
I know that you got that video.
Jeff, you're going to be the lawyer. Please be a good lawyer, my man. Please pass the bar. Let's celebrate your ease of the money. If that thing you say is wrong, show the red one. You know. Let me say this to you. Samuel Toy took the Hempstone. Look at the two Hempstone gentlemen here. Look at us. Look at the next generation leaders. Look at this. Way back. Let me do my intro. Television. Look at men of virtue. Look at men of power. Look at men of wisdom. Look at men of influence and affluence. Look at these two gentlemen. That the nation today, when you open the land, they celebrate them. These guys bringing transformation. These guys bringing a better library for the more. Look at this picture. Who can put forth? So take this picture from there, right? And bring this picture in. Which one? Get that Richard, look at the picture. Look at this picture. And look at this one. You know, I have come to realize that the most.
But what did he say? What did I remember what he said?
Wait now, wait. I've come to realize that the most handsome men are from some region. I've come to realize that if you're from Lofa, we understand than you. I've come to realize that the most handsome men are from the southeastern region. If anybody say I'm making a mistake, only should put your picture up. Let's see. Look at it. Look at the photos. Look. What are you laughing about?
Yeah, interesting guy.
I thought you were young or what? You're younger or what? I don't know.
Okay, look at the picture. Look at me and tell me I've never changed, Briggy. I never changed. And I know the reason why you guys are quiet because I'm saying the truth. The most handsome men are from the southeastern region.
I should say,
Philip Billy, you have your head. Philip Billy here.
Listen. Look at Ellen Johnson said that true. Look at I want all the women to compliment the picture. The most handsome men are from the Richardson. You know that, and I will give it to you. You know because Abraham Rob showed up with some of us, so God put in grace of handsomeness upon him. You know that. You know, because Abraham Ross showed up with some of us that are richest in your husband. And look at that to Boblet. That Boblet got to go blend in with Raymond says. That Boblet got to blend in with Raymond says to get our look. Look at our complexion. Look at our handsomeness. You make no comparison. Check out which country you're from.
Chala.
No far, man, you know.
But then it speak volume. It speak volume. It speak volume.
What you, Baba, don't be that here. Mama, I get bored here, but you get, I know you see yourself. Let's see whether you get bored here too. Let's see if you got bored.
No, but you should got the bored here, my man. But I don't let time on the show back. I beg you back. Leave time alone. No, but the issue is not. The issue is not. Jeff, remember Alex and my Jeff.
That the problem, Lola, you see, I mean, like Yomo or what?
No. We don't call it Yomo yet. That's the thing that the problem you say. Just for men. They call it just for men.
So Jacob, you don't hear them people for the natural logo. That'll be to go to the gym 6 o'clock in the morning.
Look how far you can go to the gym.
Eat well. And come to my ranch, Jacob. We got bike trail, we got swimming pool, we got basketball gym. We go natural. Everything you see here is natural. No Yomo business.
We get a whole big gym downstairs. Sometimes we go there hard to open that door is very difficult.
Why you talking so? I'm begging you, man.
But you can accuse me for that.
Because
you boy.
Jeff said they don't always want us to play the actual video, but we do have the video. So if you like, we can play that video because he said there was a different method or framing to the video. So this is the actual
real video.
So this is following the read of the Supreme Court minute, and you have the former finance minister, you have the former.
So we just wish that Francine Richardson, Dr. Bopler, whatever the video now, that summit where writing long thing on my name. Dr. Bopler, Dr. Francine Richardson, let's go to you first. Now that's the actual video though.
I'm happy that you played the actual video. The only thing I heard being added was the song. The song could evoke emotions for people. I mean, it could be an emotion of happiness, joy, sadness, depending on your mood. You know, that's what music does for you. It evokes emotions. So, you know, it's who heard the song. But that's what I saw. That's
that problem. What do you think? Is there any besides the song, you know, it's stay in slow motion. What do you think that will play?
You know, it doesn't look doctored to me, quite frankly. It just looked like a natural thing. It doesn't look doctored. I mean, the court got steps. So you walk fast over there, you're driven fall. So, you know, the former minister is taking a time walking down. I don't see, it doesn't look doctored at all. It looked normal. Yeah.
I want to say again, we'll wait Jacob say his own, but we got a lot to discuss today. We started yesterday, we couldn't reach to them. We climbed over the Phoebe Hospital, Dharma. Please get a video ready. There's something that happened in the Senate. They brought back, their own concern about $27 million issue that was posted on Spoon. I want to say to all of you, welcome to the show, share the show. Let's have a great program. Sorry that we started late. It's one of the best things ever to do to come here, but sometimes getting up here is very, very difficult. We have to leave everything just to come and talk to you. Thank you that we are in your home. We recognize you. We recognize your presence every day, and we say thank you. George Tarawoda, we say thank you. Uncle Pete, thank you for joining us. Taming Bagui, JT Fala, Praise. It's always good to have every one of you. Ambassador Frank Backley, Evangeline, it's good to have you, my sister. We want to appreciate you. But like I said, and I stand by my statement, the most handsome men in Liberia are from the southeastern region. Like you can see, I didn't put this picture up. Samuel Twe did. So now Samuel Twe, thank you for making our day. Let's finish up on the Samuel Twe story. I've been reading through the statement. I put a statement in the chat room. Welcome to the show, Brother Russell. I'll put a statement in the chat room, and I've been reading through the statement. Dr. Richardson, I believe you have gone through each and every statement. And we asked the Liberian people yesterday whether they think Samuel Twe will be going to jail. I have a couple of questions, Dr. Richardson. Sabotage, theft, conspiracy, and other charges that was brought against Samuel Twe was brought against Standard 4, and the rest of them. I want us to finish this conversation seriously, and I want the Liberian people to listen. Among all the charges, and Damwa, can you please put the charges up for us? Among all the charges, Dr. Richardson, the question people asking, they call me, did Samuel Twe steal money? The first question, because it's a theft. And I hope Councilor Gould would join us here tonight. Did Samuel Twe steal any money on all of the allegations? Let's go into it, let Clammas it, and let me help to make the Liberian people understand. We know these are our opinions, right? We read the document, we read the statement, we follow the story. Dr. Richardson, everything you know about this story, what do you think? Forget the other charges. The first one, theft. Did he steal any money? Everything you know, you think is anything there catching Samuel Twe hand in the cookies jar?
Well, I want to say hi to my colleagues on the show. I also want to say hello to Liberians who are listening to the show. To speak about your first question, Stanton, did he steal? Lawyers can, define what theft is. I mean, what investment is, what, according to, their definition. I don't know all of the definitions that they have for stealing, but I do know that if you misuse or misappropriate public funds, money that was intended for the Liberian people, to some degree, you are taking away, money that is used for the Liberian people. So I will let the lawyers define theft legally because this is a legal matter. But I know that one of the charges that he has is misuse of public funds. Okay, that money was turned over or sent to the national security. I do know historically, okay, when people don't want us to know where the money are going, or there's a sense of lack of transparency, they put everything on national security. Money went to national security because they say that, oh, we can't audit the national security. So I do know that part. Now, yesterday in my conversation to you guys, I think there should be some accountability because there was conversation about the election. There was election threat. That's what we heard. So they need to really define what it means. Who was threatening us? Somebody said maybe there was cyber rioting going on. Maybe there was rioting going on. Let them tell us. So that's what I have to say. But I know that
I want us to stick to one, Dr. Richard said, and let be fair with the conversation and take a position here. And I hope everybody can read the charge sheet. The Samuel Twe, according to the theft, and we'll put it up. Is there anything directing you to theft? Forget the legal definition of theft. Is there anything? Are you seeing anything? And let's speak to the minds of the Liberian people, saying yes, the funds were allocated, Standard 4 and those at the FIA reported in their statement that they received the funds. So the question on theft, not conspiracy, not sabotage, theft. Did Samuel Twe steal that money? And then the question will be, how did it happen? So let's ask the question first. What do you think, Dr. Richardson? Can you help us understand where any money is stolen? Did Samuel Twe steal the money? Then I'm not talking about FIA. I'm sticking to Samuel Twe and the Minister of Finance here.
So, Stanton, I like to speak to facts and to answer your question because, of course, I want to be able to lay out to you where, if I thought he took money or did not take money, where. I do have a vivid recollection of Avenho coming to the country and giving some money that we don't know about. How did that play out? So I want to be able to go back and do my own research. So at this point, I want to just tell you that I cannot answer a yes or no question. That's what I want to say about it.
Dr. Richardson, thank you. Now we hear Dr. Richardson on theft. Now, any of the charges, she waived her right to answer at this point because she's not sure. Jacob, let me ask you the same question. We'll go through all the charges, Jacob. Are you pointing to anything when you talk about theft, one of the charges? Can you explain to us whether the government have a case charging Samuel Twe with theft? Did he see the money in question?
So, to be fair, to be honest, I have been reviewing all of the documents at least available to the public at this point. And we all have been following the case for the last year and a half or so, very closely. And if you look at everything that we know for now, I mean, the matter is in court, so the details will be explored before the competent court of jurisdiction, and of course, before a jury and a judge. But at least as far as we know at this point, looking at all of the documents available, what we see in those documents, for example, is what I would consider a legitimate legal function of any Minister of Finance. It can be Samuel Twe, it could be Minister Amara Kone, it could be Ngozi Gafwan. I'm one of the greatest and sharpest critics of Minister Gafwan and his policy and his programs. But if we can put that one side, but if you look at what a Minister of Finance does, the function of the Minister of Finance under the PFM regulation and the PFM law is the disbursement and approval and disbursement of public resources. So based on this particular case involving Mr. Samuel Twe, according to what we read in all of the investigations so far, it says funds were transferred to the FIA, Financial Intelligence Agency, which is a functionary of government. Now, that is the function of the Minister of Finance. The Minister of Finance does that for education, he does that for health, he does that for public works, he does that across the government parastatal. He disburses resources to government agencies. So if you look at, again, everything we've seen, there has been absolutely no question mark so far, and no doubt that this amount of money under question was transferred to the FIA. The FIA have said, yes, money was transferred. That is not under question, as far as we know. So if that happens, and the current government has questions around the transparent expenditure of that money on security agency or on the security sector, then that is room for investigation, right? Then we have to go to the agency of government, for example, the FIE, the NSA, whatever agency that is responsible for expending the resources. Then we go there and ask the relevant question about accountability. But to just say for the fact that Samuel Twe or the Minister of Finance expend money and disburse money, for example, disburse money from the Ministry of Finance to the account of the FIA, and then automatically we consider that as he's stealing money or theft. I don't think that will be factual, that will be correct, unless we can prove.
Let me hold you. I beg you, don't go too much into it, right? Theft of property, the state claims a portion of the funds were diverted or used in ways inconsistent with law, amounting to unlawful deprivation of state resources. The second, theft of property. My question to you, please, don't go too much. Did he see the money in question?
Yeah. So that's what I'm coming to right now when you call it from my
mouth.
But
you're not there yet, Jacob.
unless the state can prove that Samuel Twe, Minister of Finance, disbursed the money to FIA and somebody, then he went back there and collected the money from the agency or from whoever, then you can say you can raise issue of theft of property. But as far as we know at this point, that is not the case or that has not been proven. So just by Samuel Twe disbursing money to FIA does not mean that he's stolen money. I mean, the public needs to know that.
All right, so let's hold you, and that's a good way to start, folks. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you in our corner tonight. We are discussing Samuel Twe, and we're trying to establish a fact based on those charges, right? We'll put the charges up for you to see it, then you can decide. Dr. Bopley, we know there's so many charges. Welcome to the show, Dr. Bopley. The first question about the theft, right? What's your take, Dr. Bopley? Everything you know so far.
So I know what I've been told. The government has built her case and the government have made accusations. But we all know that in our country, under our laws, everybody is innocent until proven guilty, and the burden is on the state, the accuser. So now it's up to the state to make the case. I don't know whether he's guilty or innocent. I don't know he took the money or didn't take the money. But when they adjudicate the matter, we know. Clearly, when you're going to accuse somebody, you do your homework and you feel confident we got enough here to prosecute. But then on the other side, the defense will come and do their best work. So we'll see what happens. I don't know at this point that he took the money, he stole the money, because we don't have a conviction. We have an accusation, and he will continue to be innocent until proven guilty.
Is there anything, are there any means Dr. Bopley, is there anything directing you to that charge of theft? Because something was, I forget what the government is doing here, right? We know the government, they are going to court now, but let's discuss this here for our audience. Are you seeing any direct connection to theft? Yeah, Dr. Bopley.
Yeah, but every charge the government made, they got some evidence. No.
I'm not waiting for the government evidence. I'm asking you. Everything you know. I will put the statement in the chat room. This been almost 2 years, right? And we ask you, what do you think? Is there any direct connection to theft? Not everybody. I'm pointing this out individually. Samuel Twe to theft on this issue.
Right. I don't know that. I read this and I've been following the story. I don't know that he's stolen the money. I know that monies were moved. I know the accusations have been made, but I wouldn't call that theft until we get to court. I wouldn't jump ahead of the process.
Thank you. Let me bring in Jefferson. Jesse, talk to us.
Thank you, Senator, and good evening to the panelists, Jacob, Dr. Bopley, Dr. Richardson, Emmanuel George, and Wilfred Russell. Those other two charlatans, I'm not going to speak into them. Fubi, how you keeping? Okay, so Stanton, I want to be emphatic here. That video you play is different from the one that we played last night.
But I get back to the testing. But you can start to my with video on about that.
I just want to be clear with that. So speaking to the issue as to whether former Finance Minister Samuel D. Twe stole, Stanton, under our panel code, Title 26, Section 15 clearly states what theft is. And a person commits theft if he or she knowingly takes, misappropriate, converts, or exercise unlawful control over the property of another with purpose to deprive the owner thereof. That is clear in our penal code. And for the prosecution to prove that, in this case, it's almost impossible. This is why I kept insisting that Samuel Detour will work because this case is a political case and the government cannot prove without doubt that Samuel Detour took unlawful control of the money, or he knowingly took the money with the intent to permanently deprive the Liberian people. Until the government can prove that, Samuel Detour cannot be guilty of theft. You see, our law is designed in a way that it is predictable. Every accusation, every crime has its own elements. And until every single one of those elements are proven, the accused is not guilty. That is the predictability of our laws. So this is why I can confidently say that Samuel Detour will walk free, because the prosecution cannot prove the elements of theft in this. All the money was transferred legally and everything was done through the agreed procedures and processes on our laws regarding the handling of security funding.
Thank you. Russell, welcome to the show, Russell. I'm trying to lead this, and we'll go through all of them. Can you connect Samuel Detour to the theft charges here, Russell? Are you seeing any connection here?
No, Stanton. Like I said yesterday, and again, hi to everyone and to my beautiful cousin-in-law, and to the rest of the panelists and viewers and listeners. Yes, like I said yesterday, I do not want to prejudice what is already being adjudicated. So this case is ongoing, and the government says it has, evidence to prove former Minister Detour's guilt. And like someone said earlier, we have a system of government that says that you are innocent until proven guilty. So I don't want to look at the evidence. I'm not legally trained. I'm not trained in our jurisprudence, adjudicating it or not. So just from my own layman public policy orientation and experience, I cannot see this and say, this amounts to guilt. This does not amount to guilt and all of that. I cannot make that sort of connection. So all I have to offer here is that the process is in court, and let us just support the judiciary system and see this go through. Let Mr. Detour have his day in court, and let the evidence that the government has, let it play out, and Mr. Detour can defend it and come up with an alibi as to why he did what he did. But I'm not I cannot put myself in the position to say whether he's guilty or not, or whether the evidence that the government has, whether the evidence leads to guilt or his innocence. So I cannot say that.
Since Stanton is not here, I don't know where he went, but T1K, if we go according to the way he was going, I think T1K Fangala.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson. I think that what Jefferson said here is very important to pay attention to it. When it comes to, first of all, whether I believe that the former finance minister, Samuel Detour, is guilty of theft, that will be unfair to him for me to sit here tonight and say that he is guilty. That is the purpose of the trial. But I just want to say, for Jefferson to come on the show and say that there are elements with respect to the penal code definition of theft, and that until every single element, when you say all, like for instance, when you say the misappropriation or the taking of somebody's money without their permission, or that this, it means anyone. It does not mean all of them. So if the government is able to prove that any of those things that meet the definition of theft has happened, then the minister will be found guilty. You don't have to prove that he did all of the above. So that is the point that I wanted to make here. That is simple English. I'm not a lawyer, but to conclude again on the question, we will witness the process. I do not know. But one thing I know, with the United States government saying that Samuel Detour is a corrupt man, Somebody said the other day, if you smell like something, and I'm like, I don't know. But when you think about his character, his conduct, his profile, there's a possibility.
I'm sorry, let me interrupt you. We are not talking about sanction. Let's stick to the story. I beg you, T. Right?
Sure. I don't know.
Yeah, sanction thing is different. T, we're getting a bad feedback, so that's why I'm muting you. I beg you, let me move to Fubi. Yes, sir. The sanction issue is the sanction issue. We can talk about it later. Let's talk about what is at the court right now. Fubi.
Yeah, so good evening, everybody. We look forward to a good show tonight. So the issue of theft, theft is embezzlement can be classified as theft. Taking things unlawfully can be classified as theft without permission. So I think the allegation here is that the guys embezzled millions of dollars. If you follow the different testimonies, you can do all the legal process, get the right authorization to withdraw fund and transfer fund, but it can still be classified as theft if the money was not used for the intended purpose. And so I think that way the whole prosecution is around. The guys have all the.
To understand what you just said, you can do all the legal process and transfer the money, accept the request from the president. Then you are saying that, yeah, but if the money was being used for its intended purpose, then you steal the money. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me hold you there. At what end? Let's deal with this ministry or entity and individual. Let's do on a three separate category, right? And let's help our followers understand this. Samuel Twe as finance minister, say I receive a request. The request say, please make funds available for national security and send those funds to FIA. Fubi. That's Samuel Twe's story. The president authorized him to do so. And then Samuel Twe said, okay, he allocated the funds, requested central bank, did all the legal stuff like you said. The money went to FIA. FIA admitted that we received the money. Connect me then to that money that Samuel Twe stole. Why is in the possession of FIA? Help me understand.
Yeah, so like I said, you can have all the legal approval, the authorization to withdraw money. But at the end of the day, there can be a big collusion between the different parties. I've worked on investigation that have a $1.8 million fraud. And there were all the legal process, the legitimate authorization was done. But at the end of the day, that money never ended up in the company's account. The individuals that were involved, the then accounting manager, the then sales supervisors, the cashiers, they all passed. They did the right documentation. At the end of the day, they stole the money.
So you had trace, right? You have proof, right?
Yeah, we traced the fund.
Yeah.
And when we reached the point, and I saw that this amount of money didn't enter the company's bank account.
Correct.
And I reported that incident.
Yeah.
The next day, the country manager told the guys, before 12 o'clock, I want that money in the account, and they deposited over $200,000.
So you had
go back for the next 10 months. Let's see.
So Fubi, let's take it easy now. You have reason to believe that the money was stolen. The general manager said you put the money there. They put 200,000. They admitted that they stole the money. You had document to prove that the money wasn't deposited. Let me come back to the Samuel Twe story. The allocation was made signed by Samara Wodo Kori, Janga Ko, and Samuel Twe from the Ministry of Finance. I really want to play the devil advocate and understand. When that allocation document left the Ministry of Finance, went to Central Bank, to FIA. FIA said, we received the money, Dr. Richardson. At what point then, can we show something? Do you think the government have something to say Samuel Twe now went back to FIA to collect money, or the money was real one? and sent back to Samuel Twe? I'm kind of confused. Help me, like you did at Coca-Cola. Let Samuel Twe here and let nail him tonight.
Look, if you listen to, if you read the Cooper story, Cooper testimony, he said he withdrew the money from Central Bank and left it with Lamin.
Yeah.
And Lamin came and said he never had any contact with a dime from the guys. And he said he left it with Lamin, and his boss told Lamin to give the money to somebody from NSA. You see, so
that's Samuel Twe with Lamin. That's what I'm looking at. Let's have a good conversation. The Liberian people will appreciate us. We agree that Cooper said he went to Lamin. Lamin said blah blah blah. We agree. Something right there got problem. But Fubi, put Samuel Twe on the crime scene here. What I have to do with Samuel Twe from Finance Ministry? Did Cooper say Samuel Twe authorized him to bring the money back? Lamin confess, and somebody put Samuel Twe on the crime scene. Can you help me?
They were the ones that sat in that joint security meeting, approved whatever the disbursement of funds, because that meeting was not presided over by the president. It was not presided over by the justice minister or one assistant and or deputy. And Samuel Twe also sat in that meeting, and they got the approval. They did all the authorization to the point of getting the money out of the central bank. And at that point, at getting the money out of the central bank, there were the different stories started coming. Somebody from FIA said they took the money and left the money with somebody at central bank with an instruction.
Again, we know. Jeff, wait. Again, we know all of that, Fubi, right? We passed that, but help us before we go to that to George. I want us to put Samuel Twe on the crime scene tonight. If we have a case, everything you're saying, Samuel Twe said, I'm a document. I signed it. I told FIA to take the money. FIA said, yes, we took the money, Dr. Richie said. But you are not putting Samuel Twe on the crime scene here. You are circumvented because you got nothing to show, right? And we're having a clear conversation. And I hope, guys, you can be part of it. Convince me. I want to be convinced. And I know the government probably gets something on theft. Did Samuel Twe receive some of the money after he sent it to FIA? Did they bring the money back to him? Do we have any trace? Did anybody confess that, yes, they took the money back to Samuel Twe? Are we just speculating here tonight, saying that maybe because of Samuel Twe record, because of Samuel Twe government position, and the money was rewound? Can we talk freely, quickly, before I go to Emmanuel George? Put Samuel Twe on the scene. For the third time, I'm asking you. Don't give me the surrounding story. You?
No, the point where they're holding him, he authorized the fund removal, withdrawal from the central bank. So at that point,
was it illegal to authorize the fund?
I didn't say it was illegal.
No, I'm asking you, was it illegal to authorize the funds?
There can be a point that the state can prove that it was illegal. The fact that the president didn't preside over that meeting, the fact that the justice minister didn't preside over that meeting, and that's the reason why the guy didn't receive presidential immunity cover, because that president didn't come directly from the president.
So then we agree that you are saying that's the illegal part there, right? But can you also admit that the money was sent to FIA, because FIA admitted that they got the money though? Though you are saying that it was illegal, but FIA is saying it was illegal, but we received the money, correct?
FIA didn't 100% admit to receiving the money, because the guy from FIA that received the money said he left it at central bank.
So did you read Standard 4 statement?
No, I talking about the person that withdrew the money.
Did you read FIA at the time? FIA manager director. Did you read his statement?
No,
I'm not concluding that.
Jefferson, stop interrupting my man, please. So my question is, can you go back to read Stanford's statement? Because he is the director, he's the executive director, he was FIA. Can you go back and read his statement? Can you go back and read Cooper's statement? Then we will come back and talk to you, because we got to take this thing step by step. But let me bring in Manuel George. Manuel George, this is getting so interesting. Everybody seems to know what is going on. Help us, Dr. George. What's going on here? Can you put Samuel Twelve on the crime scene here for theft?
Well, Stanton, this is an interesting case, and I believe those of us who follow Liberian politics and those of our colleagues who are accountants like Fubi and our colleague who are lawyers, I think it's an interesting case for them to follow. First of all, I lost my manners, excuse me. Good evening, everyone. Good to see every one of you this evening. Look, I'm reading this case document you sent to us, and I'm also reading the law. And you know, it reminds me when I lived in Nigeria, there was this thing they always talk about called security votes. That was the place where governors and leaders stole money and nobody could hold them accountable. And I know the government, what I'm saying is interesting. The government is building this case, and it's something I will follow religiously. But I'm reading the National Security Act, Stanton. Let me read for the public to understand this thing that is written in this National Security Act that we have in Liberia. Section 11D of the National Security Act called Expenditure of National Security Funds. It says funds made available to the NSC may be expended for any purpose necessary to carry out its function, and may be expended without, that's the key thing I want to share, without regard to the provision.
Can you call it, can you screenshot it? We got to put it up, please.
Okay.
And send it to us.
Without provisions of law relating to expenditure of government funds. This is very this may be very critical to this case, because as it is in that section section 11D of the National Security Act, any money sent to the NSC could be used without regard to have government carry out its action. So it's an interesting case. I would want to comment a lot, because except the NSC has a financial policy that governs this rule. But we have in our law that we can give money to a group of people in our country. They can spend that money with all regard to have government expenditure laws are set up in our country. And this is the place where Minister Twelve may find his loophole to win this case. First of all, he had two arguments. He have lost the first one. So the prosecution had won the one on the immunity that the Supreme Court brought down. But this second one that talks about the legality of using these funds is where the issue of the conversation will be dicey. And besides, finally, while you were talking to Fubi on, the Financial Intelligence Agency have admitted through Director Ford that the money went into their account. Now, how they expended it may be a point of argument, but I'm so much interested in this National Security Act Section 11D, the expenditure of national security fund. And that's the reason in many countries around the world, including this country we live in, security funds are expended without any serious auditing, because of these these reasons of people can say any reason for which they use National Security Fund, and no one can hold them responsible. But this case is going to be a very interesting case, because it's going to the heart of where a lot of corruption takes place in many countries around the world. Thank you.
So again, please cut that and send it to us. But let me hold you a little more. You cannot put Samuel Twelve on the crime scene here when you're talking about theft, can you?
Well, from the statement, let me use this. From statement of Mr. Ford that the money went into FIA bank account, It shows that the Ministry of Finance did its part by dispersing the funds that were approved by the NSC, by the NSC. That they did a part, and Minister Troy, I'm reading it, did his part by putting the funds there. Perhaps the government have something on how that fund were expended after it got in a FIA account. And their word is National Security Act, Section 11D, seems to create a lot of covering for thieves. A lot of covering for thieves in our country. And hopefully we'll find a way to close this loophole that you can expend government money without regards to the government expenditure law. That's very funny, right? Conor Gray is here.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome each and every one of you to Spoon Talk Share the Show. A very interesting conversation tonight. We got to finish up with this Senator conversation. Charges brought against him. I'm not talking about Standard 4. I'm not talking about the rights. I'm talking about Simon Tway. But if Simon Tway were authorized to send the money, and he sent the money, he said the president told me to. Whether it's an illegal authorization, we can have that argument. But the money in question, and let me bring in Councilor Gould before we go to Kev, and we'll welcome Conor Gray. But the money in question, Councilor Gould, are you with us? Okay, the councilor is not ready. Kev, let me bring you in. The money in question, Kev, I want us to put Senator on the scene. He said, I sent the money. You sent the money to who? I sent the money to Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson, did you receive the money? Yes, I received the money. Dr. Richardson, are you sure? Yes, we received the money. It's in our account. How did I eat the money then?
Well, let me say hi to everybody. That's the point we've been argue on. And you use the word and say put Summit Tway in the crime scene. Imagine you are in the courtroom with Fubi. Case closed. That's it. Because you gave Fubi time he cannot, all the noise you were making yesterday, he cannot put Summit Tway. And that is the argument. No prosecutor, if you don't have that smoking gun, you don't have that Summit Tway there, that account. Okay, Summit Tway use this money and transfer this money to account A, B, and C. Oh, this is Summit Tway account this way. So you got to trace the money. If you cannot get it, I don't know how you can prosecute Summit Tway or Summit Tway can go to jail. It's impossible. You got to show that Summit Tway is the role that the guy you're looking for, that the thief, that the guy. We get him. Yeah, him here. Then you show that document. Show everything, because we have seen financial crime in America here. Yeah, like yesterday I talked about the Illinois governor who sold Obama's seat. They got recording, they got everything. They put him on the crime scene. He was on the crime scene. If you cannot put Summit Tway on the crime scene, you don't have no case. It's the same thing as the Capitol building. If you don't put Kofi on the crime scene, you don't have case. You don't put the other guys on the crime scene, you don't have case. All over the world. But people tend to want to use politics. Stanford, you're correct. They get the money to who's supposed to use the money. The money left. They agree. They say yes, they get the money. So what's Summit Tway? He's not a spending minister. He's not the one that's spending the money. If you want to use that narrative, or you want to use it, then you have to go back to Gafon them, do Madam Ellie time, all the corruption, and then you got to go to Boma Kamara. You cannot as a, it just sometimes I don't understand Liberia, but things that make sense in Liberia, things that are sensible, it don't make sense in Liberia. Liberia trend on.
Let me bring you in, Councilor. Are you with us now? We'll bring you in, but you are you with us, Councilor Gould? Okay. Eddie, let me Gray. I think Councilor Gould have an internet problem. Eddie, Let's talk to you, my friend. Welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome. Thanks, Stanton. Good day, everyone. Stanton, when you talk about National Security Council, the head of that council is the National Security Advisor. The president does not speak directly to any auxiliary body of that entity, National Security. He speaks to his National Security Advisor. One thing I can advise you is that the prosecution team, they have so many loopholes. What they'll try to do is to use one of the individuals as state witness to be able to get an insider's perspective on this matter. I say this to say that the president will not call Mr. Minister of Finance and say, disburse fund. It goes through the National Security Advisor. If the advisor has no idea, that is a problem, because anybody can call. That's the allegation, that you can transfer money because you deem it's national security, FIA is part of that branch. You just send money there. The idea, the president will not give you verbal utterance. It will come through channel, and it's an instrument. The president will ask the National Security Advisor to oblige the other body, any of the bodies concerned, and say, debit government of Liberia account for so and so reason. Instrument. That is, if you won't rely that the president gave me, order. But if nothing like that exists, that's why they'll go back to say, well, the immunity of the president is not transferable. But if you have an instrument that says, this was my order, as a result, I executed it, and it came from the National Security Advisor. But if they have that document, then the guy will walk. If there's nothing that is relying on verbal utterance, man, just wait for the day, Stanton.
So let's stick with you for a bit, Colonel Gray. Did you read the National Security Act?
Well, I don't know if there are any amendments to the National Security Act, but it used to be my Bible.
Okay.
Because
so
I studied those things uniformly. The answer is yes. I studied those things uniformly with the UCMJ. So
do you know that?
My Bible.
Praise God for that. Do you know that the president can give authorization verbally, according to the Act? It's nothing clear that it should be a written document. So, do you know?
No,
that?
when it comes to finances, I'll let me look it up, and then I'll send
we'll be on the show. We'll wait for you to look it up.
When it comes to finances,
so
I turn on your Bible. You have to look it up.
Just stop, man. But I have a good show. You don't interrupt, bacon cheap. So, Colonel Gray, let's wait, right? And please show it to us. You be exact, because we got to set this thing straight. To put Senator on the crime scene, I want Liberian people to know. After Senator, Dr. Richardson, Colonel Gray will come back to you while you find that, please. After Senator received the verbal authorization, according to the document, everybody in their report, this is Zamora Rodokodi. This is his statement as per Exhibit F. He said, on March 27, 2024, Mr. Rodokodi came at the LDCC in response to an invitation extended to him to answer the question about his role and knowledge of this allegation. Mr. Rodokodi, in his written statement, informed the investigation that all expenditure made by the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning affecting the consolidated account, whether through checks, transfer, or budget, or off-budget spending to any ministry or agency are approved by the Minister of Finance, and there should be a request in place from the required entity. to the Ministry of Finance. According to Mr. Woodokoli, this is done. The approval instruction will be communicated to the requested entity. Let's come to the conclusion when Mr. Woodokoli finalized this. On the question of the transaction on an investigation, this is very important. Second paragraph, Mr. Woodokoli informed the investigation that to his recollection, the minister instructed and approved said transaction, and it was executed in line with all the procedure as mentioned above. According to Mr. Woodokoli, his role as a Deputy Minister for Financial Affairs was to ensure as to whether or not funding was available to execute the transaction as requested by the minister, and when the availability of funding was confirmed, he then approved and forward seen to the controller Janga Ko. We're going to stay right there. Let's bring Janga Ko on. This is Janga Ko's statement. And Janga Ko said in his written statement, Mr. Ko informed the investigation that under the fiscal year 2023, numbers of funds transfer was made to the FIA operational account based on instruction from Honorable Samuel Twe, Minister of Finance Development Planning. Mr. Cole informed the investigation that a Liberian data transfer were done on September 19, 2023, while the U.S. data transfer was made on September 21st, 2023. These are Deputy Minister confirming the transfer. So can we rest with this story that the transfer was done? And I'm going to bring in Stanley Ford, who on the other hand said that transfer Janga Ko is talking about and Samora Woodokoli is talking about, FIA receiving. Let's hear you, Dr. Richardson. The information out there.
Well, based on what you just read to us, the authorization was made by Samuel Twe. I did not hear that the authorization came from the president, therefore putting the case of immunity to rest, because there were some people that said, you know, he was receiving order from the president. You did say verbal orders, but it said here that direct order came from Mr. Twe. Now, the dates to me is very important. In 2023, 2024, I think it's important for Liberians to know, was there any kind of security issue that was going on that brought the country to threat? You know, that's what I want to know, that the time frame in which the money was asked to be released. The question I would want to ask is, was there a threat made to the country called Liberia? Yes.
So are you still speaking, Dr. Richardson?
No, I'm not. Yes.
So my question to you.
Illegal transfer, well, according to what I was reading, sorry, they did say there was illegal transfer of 6 million. That's what the government is, that's what the Liberia is saying. There was an illegal transfer of 6 million. So was there a threat that requires $6 million to be transferred? Security.
So my question to you, though, before we go to Jeff, I don't know what how you call him, Jacob off, right? My question to you, right? Let's agree they can say illegal here and there, but what questions still remain? Was the money transferred? Because when you look at the authorization that came to Samuel Twe, it came to Samuel Twe as minister. And it's up to Samuel Twe to instruct his deputy to make allocation. It came from the president, and Samuel Twe can defend that. Samuel Twe said, I'm instructed by His Excellency, we have to make these forms available. Samuel Twe didn't go to LACC to testify. So Samuel Twe's statement is not out. But the people that surrounded Tenem Bromstein and all of them, that's what what's the fund transfer? That's the question I'm asking. Yes, we see clearly that the money was transferred. So if the money was transferred, can we leave the finance ministry now and go to FIA now and see what they did with the money, Dr. Richardson?
I don't think so, because who authorized the transfer and why? I would like to know. And according to what you said, according to what you read to us, the authorization came from somewhere. And so we'd like to know why was $6 million transferred? What threat? What security threat? What national security threat?
The issue about the money was transferred and they holding the third position. I want us to be clear that the money, we all believe that it was transferred, and the FIA accepted the fact that they received the money. They are speaking, they announced it now. Why the money was transferred, we can have that conversation. When that security threat, they can answer it. When that national security reason, we can come to it. But first of all, money was transferred. And when the money was transferred, did it come back to Samuel Twett? Did he eat it?
I don't know, but it says all expenditures, based on what you read, what you said to us, all expenditures were approved by Samuel Twett. So now the court system has to ask Samuel Twett, what expenditure did you approve, okay, that would rise to the occasion of it being a national threat to Liberia that will have to go through national security? That's why I want to know.
So, Stanton, let me weigh in. So, Dr. Richardson, firstly, yes, there was, during the election year, there were security threats. One of the security threats was that Joseph Boakai said the country will end if he doesn't win the election. That was a security threat. With that being said, let's go to the other statement that was made. On September 5th, 2023, the acting minister, according to the Ministry of Justice, the acting minister of Justice, Councillor Unity Tuan, wrote the FIA informing it that the National Joint Security has secured funding for election operations. The FIA operational account was designated to receive the channel the funds. Upon receipt, the FIA was instructed to release the funds to the National Joint Security. So this is to say the FIA received the funds in its operational account. That was established in the statement. Then, according to Mr. Ford, the funds were withdrawn and made available to the National Joint Security Team in compliance with the minister's instruction, the Minister of Justice. So you can clearly see that the funds were received lawfully and withdrawn pursuant to the official instruction of the national security purpose. So it's clear they had a meeting and they agreed, the joint security agreed that this money should be made available for election security purposes. So it is clear. Mind you, in accordance to the statement that was read by Stanton, Mr. Cooper, he made his own statement to you, remember? He said, in addition to all the other statements that were made, Mr. Cooper said the funds was withdrawn, were turned over to one Theophilus Lamy. If you read the document that Stanton posted, he said it was turned over to one Theophilus Lamy, an employee of the central bank. Mr. Lamy was allegedly instructed to give the money to individuals from the joint security. Stanton, after all this, there's nowhere in anybody's statement that former Finance Minister Samuel D. Twett had any connection to the money again. And more than that, everything was fully authorized according to law. It followed every national security procedures. There's nowhere anybody can connect Samuel Twett to this money after it was disbursed. You see, Fubi is very uninformed. He did not read. In fact, he doesn't read. He can't read. So he doesn't.
All right, so we'll hold you right there. Your only problem is to attack your panelists. Let's stick on the issue. Let me bring you on, Russell. Russell is very important. No, yeah, I will cut you off, my man. You ready to attack your panelists? No, my man, let's move on, man.
All expenditures were approved by Minister Twett. That's what I want us to listen to, keep in the head. So,
the expenditure that was approved, that the Rich is saying, the request of the funds, the money that was requested, right? It was approved. It should be approved because he's the minister. That money be sent to FIA. They didn't say expenditure. They didn't say how they're going to spend the money through FIA or NSA.
The reason why I'm making this point is that there should be documentation relating to the expenditures that were approved.
Correct.
Yes. So we need to know, and then we also got to ask what security threat was that you are going through that would allow $6 million to be used.
Correct. I agree with you, and that's when you get into the national security issue, whether they can talk or not, and the lawyer will come in. So let me bring in Russell, then we'll go to Lafayette Good because he's in and out. Russell, you want to add to this quickly before we bring in Councilor Good? It's very important to hear from him.
Thanks, Stanton. For now, I would defer to Councilor Good. Councilor Good, take it over.
Thank you very much. Councilor, welcome to the show. Let's hear you.
Am I clear, Senator? Good evening. All right, so let me say again, and like I said last night, Stanton, and all of you, my fellow panelists, national security information is classified, and one of the persons on this show tonight that I can say he understands national security matters will be Conor Gray. I don't care how he wants to turn himself upside down to be, a political commentator. He's still under obligation to protect national security principles. He knows that. So national security information classified. I said last night, and I will say again, Stanton, all of you, that money, if that money was used for national security purpose, you will never know. And I hear Dr. Richardson continue to say, what is it, Dr. Richardson? That information is not for you. No. That information is for the National Security Council. The threat surrounding elections, it's not for you. It's not for you and myself. It's for the council. And if anybody who wants to know the threat surrounding elections activity will be the current National Security Council. That the only body that Samuel Twer and the rest of the guys who spend that money for can sit down before and present the national security case to them and say these were the things that were happening during the elections, and that's the reason why we had to spend this money. No other body. The National Security Council, which is the president, is the head of the National Security Council. So you and myself, you don't get it. Even I served as special assistant to the Solicitor General. There were national security information that I was not privileged to. As close as I was to the national security, apparatus, I was not close to certain information. I couldn't get it. So that's what I said. If the money was used for national security purpose, even the current government is making expenditure on national security matters, they would not come to the public and say, they would not explain. Conor Gray is here. So if the state has any other evidence to establish that the money was not used for national security purpose, then there's a case there. And so that's why I don't like for us to go in depth, because sometimes when I want to go in, then I think about my time with the state, and then I also think about the defense. Then I don't want to compromise, the case. So I try to be as professional and balanced as I can when it comes to presenting certain issues when cases are before the courts. So I would say that if that money was used for national security purpose, you would not get any explanation from them. They would not say anything. That
so I have a question.
Yes, will be for the National Security Council.
So my question, though, I think one of the concerns that a lot of people have is that what they see this as is national security is being used as a red herring.
Forget about that. Don't forget about that. And Russell, it's all around the world. The America you're sitting today, and the CIA, the operation, my brother. In fact, you were sitting down when they were going to arrest, when they were going to pick up Bin Laden and other people there, other people, you didn't even know. You know what money US government spent? That's national security, my brother. You don't determine. It is a security apparatus. It is.
I understand. I agree. I'm just talking about the lay person.
So
let me ask you a question. Hold on 1 minute. I want you to bring Dr. Richardson 1 minute. I want us to ask the councilor this question. Councilor, we understand that. Can you bring us up to speed? Because our brother Dr. Josh raised this, right? Expenditure of national security fund. This is the core statutory provision the defense relied on. Funds made available to the NSC may be expended for any purpose necessary to carry out its functions and may be expended without regard to the provision of laws relating to expenditure of government funds, if essential for vital national security interests, unless specifically prohibited by other law. Explain this to us legally.
When it comes to national security, there's no receipt. Simple. There is no receipt. Nobody
That was the way. You'll come away.
I come in. Nobody. In fact, do you know? Even on the show we are now, we are about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There are some people here who are hired by the national security that you don't even know. They are paid per month. They are agents. You don't know. All of us here. Some people who talking high on the show will be on national security payroll, bro. That's what they call national security.
But that's not KEF though. That's not KEF.
It's an envelope. It's an envelope that only people who have clearance understand that envelope. And so when
can you finish what Dr. Richardson you asked? We'll come to you. It's important that he clear this us. Let him clear this up.
When it comes to that level, Stanton, in government, you can't question it. You can't question it. So I don't want to go to merits or whatever. I'm just telling you that if the money was used for national security purpose, you would not hear it. You would not. They would not come to you and say, "Oh, you know, they had this." No.
How would the state argue this in the court of public jurisdiction or opinion with people, journalists? How to talk to us? How can the court, the state, and some Ms. Senator to testify and other people to talk about national security issue? How would the court do this?
No, it means that the state may have evidence to demonstrate that the money was not used for national security purposes. Period. That's what the state argument will be that no, the money was not used for national security purpose, but was used for your own, and then the state will give the reason and where the money and show the evidence where the money was used. All of the national security purpose. Simple.
And that's why you ask that question, Stefan. That's why you ask that question.
Everybody would tie the lawyer here, right? Dr. Richardson, let's come to you. But let me ask the last question before you come in. Everybody got to tie this lawyer. So let they agree. Is that what were after Johnson or Norris twice said, okay, Samuel twice, court. The man will explain how the money was used after he gave the money. Because he's part of the national security team. Will the court entertain that explanation? Will they allow him to explain? And if the court said no, then how can you tell Samuel twice?
Stay down. One of guys, if anybody is pushed and they decide to breach the national security protocol and make statement, in fact, if they are in the national security chain, they will have their own consequences first. Because I think I will try to research it, but I know there's a law that says 5 years. You take 5 years before you can even provide information. The information can be declassified. All of those information are classified. It has to be declassified first.
And guys, that's what the conversation is important. I want us to go to the phone line after we do the second round, right? Everybody will be given a chance to ask us a good question. If you're a lawyer out there, you want to weigh in, we'll take your call. But this is very important on a new dimension. Number one, now we are convinced that everybody's statement pointing to Samuel Twain said the money to FIA. We are convinced. If anybody say the money came back to Samuel Twain, we want to see documentation. Because the money left, the approval left, it went to Central Bank. Even over here, let's do this. This is Stanley Cooper. Stanley Cooper said, March 16, 2024, in his written statement presented to the investigation, Mr. Cooper informed the investigation that I stole the alleged funds transferred through FID operation. He was instructed by his boss, Mr. Stanley Ford, to process checks in the amount of $599,598.20 and the Labyrinth component to facilitate the withdrawal of said funds from the FIA account at the central bank, intended for joint security operation. It's very important to know that, Dr. Richardson. Intended for joint security operation. According to Mr. Cooper, he was also instructed by who? Mr. Ford, Stanley Ford. There you have it. This is Mr. Cooper's statement. He was also instructed by Stanley Ford to withdraw and deliver said monies to members of the joint security. Mr. Cooper said he executed the instruction and was directed by his boss, Mr. Ford. I want to hold on right here. I want us to hold on. So this money now, it left the bank. Instruction was given to Mr. Cooper. His boss, Stanley Ford, said, you got the money? Yeah, I get the money. Go to national security, give them the money. And the man said in his closing, right here by his statement, he said in his closing, as per his statement, right there, just look at that. He said he was also instructed by Mr. Ford to withdraw and deliver said monies to members of the joint security operation. Mr. Cooper said he executed the instruction as was directed by his boss, Mr. Ford. Good.
So, Stanton,
national security, talk to me, and we'll go to Dr. Richardson.
Just so, Stanton, before Dr. Richardson comes in, this is a simple thing, right? Who are in the indictment? Is Samora Wolokoli who signed a proof in the indictment? No.
He's not. Jangako is not. Tenebroski is not. Tenebroski is not.
Okay, so now, so that's the point. So Samuel Tue is the person who instructed them. So they are not indicted. Then Samuel Tue said the president instructed me. Then look, Stanton, let's be frank and fair, right? I spent 12 years as a prosecutor. 12 solid years. I did not have national security clearance, but there are information that I will not provide on this platform because of the ethics. There are things that I know that I will not say because I hold it. And there are cases I would not even take against the government, even in private practice, because of that ethics. National security information is classified, except you can prove otherwise. If you can prove otherwise, no problem. But once it comes to the expenditure of national security activities, my brother, nobody will come on radio and television and explain all of the details. That detail will be explained in the National Security Council. And the current National Security Council will be on an obligation to call 12 other people who spend that money to tell them how it was spent, because it is classified information. That's what I will say today.
Stan, let me ask the councilor a question, a quick question here.
Wait, we're going to Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson, you have something to say. We'll go and do the last round. Then we'll go back to the Liberian people to weigh in. My people, y'all will talk this out today. Dr. Richardson.
First of all, I want to respect, Councilor Good here on the show. I want to respect your knowledge of working with national security issues. I want to respect the fact that you respect ethics and confidentiality. But when you made the analogy between in this country or in developed progressive country, national security work is kept in dark and nobody understands it. But at least we see results. We see what happened with the money that was spent in national security. We can see later Bin Laden was arrested. We can see later people went to Venezuela, how they took all of those, national airplane, all of that stuff. So we can see it. in the case of Liberia, $6 million was spent. I don't see how, okay? And I agree with you that this is a cloud of secrecy in terms of national security, all right? However, though, it is in the court system now, and we can look at the dates and then go back and track. Was there any international communication that said there was a threat against Liberia internally, whether it's receipts, whether writing, whatever, that will rise to the occasion of using $6 million to keep Liberia secure? That's what I wanted to just ask anybody who's listening to me. I respect, okay, it's national security issue you guys are saying. I respect that. And my specific question to you, Councilor Good, do you think that the law should be altered in a way that once it is in court, people can now tell us to some degree that how the money was used, and then the people in court, like the judges, should respect confidentiality and ethics like you do? You know, that is a closed session. That is those people who respect in the Supreme Court. I'm sure they're not going to blabber and say, "Oh, Liberia national security XYZ." So they can do that, right? They can have a session where they only bring in judges who will respect the ethics and the confidentiality of our country.
No, that I really let me tell you something. Let me be frank and clear with you, right? Government comes, government goes. We have a pattern of protecting the security chain. No information would not be compromised. Even the let me tell you something. Look, there are certain people you cannot discuss certain things with. You can't, because they are not in the chain. Look, national security is not like, you know, we have a community. No, they're not a vigilante thing. No. Because one information sometimes that you will release, somebody can use that information to build on your security level and breach it and become a threat to the whole country. Look, some people will say, "Oh, you know, you support." I'm supporting the national security structure, whether it is Samuel Twe, whether it is what about Prince Charles Prince Johnson, whether it is the defense minister. That's the structure. I'm on an obligation to protect that structure. That structure, if anybody who decide to, that's what I said, if there is evidence to establish that the monies were used for purposes other than national security, the government will establish that and present that to the court. And once they present that, people will be found guilty. But
okay, thank you. I gotta bring the others the others in. We gotta run with this. Jefferson, let's hear you. That's your closure on this story now, because after this,
so that originates, you can never see or let. For example, have you seen the National Security Expenditure Report for 2024 and 2025? You can never see it. This is why the council is saying it's national security issue. And this is why I insist that this case is a difficult case for the prosecution to prove the elements of theft or any other crime that was leveled against the former finance minister. It will be almost impossible for them to prove all the elements in their allegation. So definitely, Minister Samuel Ditwa will walk free. I can assure you that.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Oh, Russell, you want to close on this? Then we'll go to the phone line after everyone speak to this. Russell?
No, I think much has been said already, Stanton. Let's move on to the phone line. I don't want to belabor the point, so I'm fine.
Thank you, Russell. Fubi?
Yeah, there are several firm points in the whole different testimonies. And like I said, I didn't want to bother myself with 4 testimonies because the meat of the testimony is within what is guy name? Cooper's testimony, Lamin's testimony, and what is the security advisor, national security advisor, Jefferson Camo, testimonies. So these 3 testimonies have the meat. Ford admitted of receiving the money in their account. That was off question. And they approved, or they authorized Cooper to go and withdraw the money. And Cooper gave 2 conflicting statements. The first one, he withdrew the money. He was instructed to withdraw the money and give it to the Joint National Security, which he said he executed according to his boss's mandate. And later he went back for a second, investigation and told the LNCC that he withdrew the money, but instead of giving it to the Joint National Security, he gave it. A boss told him to give it to Lamy. Lamy collected the fund, and Lamy gave the fund to the Joint National Security in the present. And Lamy's testimony disputed that. He said at no point he had any contact with the money or even met Cooper, and he didn't receive a dime from Cooper for safekeeping or to tell what to anybody. That's Cooper's only statement. Then Camo also said he didn't have knowledge of the fund, about anybody receiving the fund. But the only thing he didn't question because the other guy didn't complain about not receiving the fund, so he didn't comment. But he also said,
Fubi, can I ask you on Lamy and Cooper? Lamy said he received the fund, he gave it to National Security. Lamy came back and said, well, I didn't receive any money. What we want to establish, right, before we go through all that, the money left Central Bank, the money now with FIA. Who control FIA? Who is the head? The money in question was between who all, as per the statement of everybody. And that's why I want to establish here tonight, because you know what? Why can't we hold Standard 4? Say Standard 4, you instructed the man to go for the money. The man said, first time he saw the money, he took it. The next one, he didn't take it. Did he say anything that he took the money to Simon 12 or Simon 12 went by and picked the money back up?
Oh, he didn't. He will not say that. He doesn't have to say that. But the point, all of them
are all working on the government now. If we go on conspiracy, maybe you can raise that argument. But the money left Central Bank, the money was FIA. Now, from FIA to National Security, that's where we have our problem. Why can't we go call Pearson, who is the passport director today, and ask Henry Pearson, did you see this money, Henry Pearson? You instructed who to pick the money, or can Henry Pearson tell the Liberian people whether this money was given to him and his entity, the National Security? Can we ask that question? Can we ask the Joint Minister whether the money was...
The Joint Security is made out of 3 different groups, not only NSA. The NSA is
too. I just told you the Justice Minister.
The Defense Ministry and the Justice Ministry. Those are the 3 entities that made the
Joint Fubi. The Defense Minister, Honor George Manawia, he's the military advisor to President Barker today, Zianka. Can we ask him? The NSA director, Honor George Manawia, he's the passport director today under President Barker. 2 of them. Can we ask them? The Minister of Justice, Musa Day, he's not there no more. Right? So you get all of the 3 major ministries and entities. Why are we wasting time to say where the money is?
No, it's important. It's important. The first thing here, Musa Din was the Minister of Justice. But they didn't include Musa Din in the transaction abroad.
That's not my argument. You know you are very smart, man. You won't take us back there. You have 3, you got 2 ministries on an entity called NSA. They are leaders for those ministry and entity. The money between FIA and the Joint Security. You want to tell me that all 3 of them, whether Musa was in the country or not, or the IT minister, can we put them together now to ask them? Because 2 of them in this government. They're right there with President Barker.
They can be used as state witnesses.
Can call right now Henry Pearson and say, my man, what do you know about this money? Maybe he did. The Justice Minister can call Zenga. He's the military advisor to Joseph Boakai. I said, my man, but you're a defense minister. What's going on here? The Justice Minister can call the former Chief of Staff, Prince Johnson, who is the National Security Advisor today. I said, my man, national security, you got clearance, I got clearance. What's going on? Did it do that? So I'm just asking a question. So let's beat on Samuel 12, but let's ask the question. And don't take me back to in the country or who was in the country. I'm not interested in that.
Then one last one. The National Security Advisor, Jefferson Camo, who sat on the panel as well, said he had no knowledge about who received the money, but the only thing, nobody complained that they didn't receive money. That's the reason why he didn't talk. And every cent that was spent should have been accompanied by a written request. He stated in the testimony.
I agree, he said that we'll put it up. But I'll go back to my question. Jefferson Camo, National Security Advisor on George Manawia. But yet and still, though, you have Henry Pearson. You have Zenga. You have Prince Johnson, who is there today as NSA director. They know where that money is. So leave Jefferson alone. Jefferson saying, nobody complains so I didn't follow through. But I see no document. Okay, we agree. But then I ask the other people now, did the Justice Minister, the LSCC call them too? Did they give statement? Can they tell the Liberian people? Let's try to nail Samuel 12. I agree that name, I don't like the guy. But did they call them too now? And let me come to Emmanuel George. Emmanuel, I am so, listen, I'm reading this thing, I'm going over it, and I want to understand why this is so difficult. When we have the same two out of the three individuals in this government. Emmanuel George, help me. But don't bring a philosopher story to me. Don't bring an address to me.
No, stand up. Yeah, they could ask them, but again, Councillor Gu have made a point over and over. Again, as I said initially, I'm going to follow this case because it appears to be a very, very interesting case. But to correct Fubi's point that he's making, first of all, I think Councillor Yantuan was the acting minister, so he approved it. He sent a letter, so it shows that the minister proper was not in country when I approved that decision was made. And then if you read the end of the National Security Advisor testimony, he spoke to the fact that he was aware that they prepared a budget that was sent to the National Security Council. So he was fully aware of that budget being sent, and he was fully aware that the budget was going to be funded. So we cannot argue now that he knew nothing about the money. When in the last, read the last paragraph, he said he's clearly stated that he was aware that he sent budget in 2020.
Who's speaking? Who's speaking? Let me put it up. Which one of them?
What his name?
Jefferson Camo. He didn't say he prepared budget.
Wait. Emmanuel, you said, is that Jefferson Camo?
Yeah,
you referring to Emmanuel?
Yeah.
All right, let me put it up quickly and we read it. Go ahead, talk to us, Emmanuel.
Yeah, so if you read the last paragraph of Camo, he says that he informed the investigation to his knowledge, beginning in 2022, the Joint Security did submit to the National Security Council an operational plan with a budget attached. So he did send, he has a knowledge about that. But again, is reading from this, I'm sure the prosecution may have more than we know about surrounding what happened to the money after it left or something else. And what we have here, and that's my second question, perhaps some of you guys who have read the document, and we've been talking about 6 million. But this document I'm reading has nothing about 6 million. I'm reading 500,000 Liberian as 500,000 US dollar and 999,700. I hope I'm reading this math correct. Fubi, correct me now. Liberian dollars. So maybe the 6 million is somewhere else. Maybe we're reading a document that has nothing to do with this 6 million case we're talking about, because this document, as I'm reading there, as it looks, it appears that it's a $500,000 that was distributed and 999,700 Sorry, please.
Tanette Bronskin talk about the 6 billion in her testimony.
Yeah, she did.
So, but yeah, so this document that the FIA is speaking to the FIA now with this document concerning Councillor Twe, this conversation here seems to be around a money far less than the $6 million. So there may be a conversation that have that $6 million in it, but not in this document that we are reading. And perhaps that where the prosecution may be looking at. But when it comes to this particular document of the $500,000 and 900 and something thousand Liberian dollars, this document shows that the money was transferred to the FIA. The FIA received that money. Even the conversation that Fubi is bringing up about the bank teller said his work was to make sure the money went into the account. So we cannot, in my mind, I don't think you can disabuse the argument.
But Emmanuel George, Emmanuel, we are leaving the argument that the money went to FIA acknowledged to receive the money.
Exactly. And that
so that had the Samuel. So let's see what Samuel. So how did Samuel eat the money? Did he go back to them? Did he have secret meeting and he collected his own from there? And I just want to know that let's just agree on something here, right? Now we'll go to the conspiracy issue. Whether they conspire, but whether they conspire to get so Saturday afternoon when all this thing was said and done, they told Samuel to own the money back to him. How can we? Say something, Kev. Let me bring you in and we'll go to tea.
I thought you got my name to
speak. Yeah, you might not finish up. You might not finish up.
To answer your question directly, Stanton, this document, let me be very specific. This document we are reading surrounds a $500,000 US and 900 and something Liberian dollars. With this document that we are reading, it appears.
You got to also include the Tenant Brunson, the Minister Brunson, $6 million. It's there. So include it. That total amount we're talking about here.
Okay, let me get to Tenant Brunson part, but where I'm reading.
But how you read it in half with my man?
It appears that that money was transferred.
It's part of the statement. Let's do the statement. No, I'm going in the statement. We put in the statement. Oh, I can't leave it, my man. But go ahead, Emmanuel. Make your case.
Hold on,
I beg you, Councillor Chief. Hold on. You say, Emmanuel, what is it?
I say from what we are reading here, it is clear that the money left from the Ministry of Finance to the FIA, and the FIA have admitted that they received that money. So,
is there anything in the statement that some of that money went back to Samuel Twe?
No, I don't see a smoking gun in any of this statement.
We don't have a smoking gun. Kev Hassan, thank you, Dr. George. Kev Hassan.
You see, there's a
Kev, let me say something. I really want us to go after Samuel Twe, but we should go after Samuel Twe with something in our hands. We should give him the black glove and then he said, put your hand in it. And look at the Liberian people and say, if it does not fit, you must acquit. So therefore, he got to put his hand in the glove. It's the glove, Samuel Twe glove. Can anybody show us that's when that money went back to Samuel Twe? And people will insinuate, people will say, yeah, that Samuel Twe will put on sanction. He's a wicked man. I agree. But the money in question, it finished leaving Finance and Central Bank. It's between FIA and the national security, the joint security. How can we carry this back now to Samuel Twe? Kev?
Yeah, you know, I'm glad the councillor is on, you know, some of the reason that Josiah Human Bokai, you know, kind of canceled the audit on NSA is because of the same national security thing, because it's protected under the National Security Act. So that's what. But let me ask you, Councillor, let me ask you this. If they cannot show that Samuel Twe went to the bank with the black gown, with the black hat, without gloves, take that money and go to Bomi, to Balaswa in Bomi, and relax in Balaswa, pull it in your house. If they cannot show it, Samuel Twe walk.
But Kevin, the prosecution doesn't have to show that Toy went to the bank and picked up the money. All the prosecution needs to prove is that the money was not used for national security purpose. Period.
If they cannot use, if they cannot prove that,
No, come here. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what basically. That's what I'm saying.
Whether you went to the bank, to collect the money or not, the thing here is the prosecution must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the monies that the people say Toy and the other accused say were used for national security purpose or purposes was never used for that purpose. Once they can prove that, conviction is sure. If they can't prove that, if they cannot prove that Equator, you need anything, you must prove your case. Your case must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. And where reasonable doubt exists, whether your evidence is looking plenty or not, is looking clean and sufficient, they say once reasonable doubt exists, it works in favor of the accused. That's the law. So let's wait for the trial. The government has
I understand that. But I understand what you just said, that if they cannot prove, because I want to get clear, you're the lawyer. If they cannot prove anything beyond reasonable doubt, Samet Toy walk.
If a prosecution cannot prove anything beyond a reasonable doubt against any accused person, not just Samet Toy, even you, Kev Hassan, if you cannot prove your case beyond a reasonable doubt, you will go free. Period.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me bring you to Woloka. T, let's hear you, my friend. And then we're going to Conor Gray. T, Woloka, let's hear you.
Thank you, Senator, and I'm glad that the councilor came back on, because the point that I tried to reference, I would need his full knowledge on that. Councilor, when you spoke, you mentioned the United States. You said even in the United States, there are some things that people cannot know about, and if it relates to, and then you talk about the Ben Laden scenario. But in the United States, they have this Foreign Intelligence Service Agency code, the FASA code. Those are codes that are specialized in dealing with matters that are secrecy, matters that pertains to national security interests that we, the ordinary people, should not be knowing about, or that they don't want their adversaries from foreign countries to know what's going on. So first, before I come in here, I wanted to know from you, the lawyer, do we here in this country, in Liberia, have anything that is similar to the FASA code in the United States that can look into issues that pertain to the nation's secret, so that it's in that safe space, so that people don't just hide behind the name and the function of agency and steal from the people? But at least they know that they won't just say, oh, I don't have to give you a receipt, I don't have to this, I don't have to that. But that there is that specialized court that you can go to if there are issues that need to be explained. Do we have something similar to that here?
As the hierarchy of codes, JP code, ministerial codes, circuit codes, specialized codes, and Supreme Court. 5. So there's no special code for national security purpose. The only place you go to explain national security activities before the National Security Council. Whether you consider people stealing or not, that one are fallacies. You're just assuming national security. Your own say what you're sitting over there, that studio, that place, and if you're in Liberia, the national security watching over you. You don't know how much money they spend to put agents around to ensure your security. And when I say this, don't say I come in. When I say this thing, I don't say it because somebody on trial. So I say because nationally, that's it. I work in government for 27 years, 12 years as prosecutor. I understand national security activities. So that's it. When it comes to national security, it's classified. You can have all of the thoughts. You can bring all the political argument into it. Bro, when is national security classified? Find something else.
Thank you, guys. Well, Stanton, I didn't finish my point. I started by asking the council a quick question, which he answered. The point that I want to make here is most of the questions that Stanton had asked here tonight, like to demonstrate how can we actually put Toure on the crime scene to be clear with the Liberian people that he actually committed the crime. I think, again, to my earlier point, that is the whole process of this prosecution. And when the time comes, when the court concludes this whole trial process, it will be clear to us whether there is a need for Samuel Toure to be set free or there is a need for Samuel Toure to be punished for something that is unlawful. But in this moment, Stanton, I think it is very difficult for us to be able to tell.
Wow. Wow. No, Jeff, we got to go to Ed, please. Ed, let's hear you.
Stanton, I was not able to lay my hands on the national security, the act that created the National Security Agency.
Is that how far you put your Bible? You say it was your Bible, though. It should be under your head.
Yeah, but I'm a Christian. I don't even have a Bible closer to me now. I said it used to be. I don't practice that religion anymore.
Oh, it used to be. Okay.
I no longer practice that religion. I say it used to be.
So now you're Muslim. So now you're Muslim.
I don't know where am I right now, but let me say this. This issue will be prosecuted on a theory of best evidence. It's not going. They're not going to believe it because national security can be.
That's what I now know. You the real army man here. That now know you the real army man.
Jeff, start disturbing me. Start disturbing me.
Start disturbing the general. The colonel, please.
Let me help you guys a little bit. They're not going to go be seeking whether they bought cayenne, they bought pepper with the money. They're not going to go be looking at that because if they do that, national security can mean anything. They are going to look. If you go back to the findings analysis, the money of this case is that who authorized, because Mr. Toure is now the head of the National Security Council. Jefferson, 2 months after inducting into office the FIA, 2 months after that, a circular came that originated only and remained with the Ministry of Finance, who is not even the head of the National Security Council. They authorize. Now, he said the president told me, if you go back on the finding number 6, they will tell you every financial stuff that is released must come to with a note, because that is a reliance in the future.
Which one is number 6?
No, let me say this.
No, you cannot say this thing now. You say you cannot get it. No. You're trying to deceive us. Don't do that.
No, I'm not trying to deceive you.
No. No, brother, Colonel Gray, please, with all due respect, sir. You
put number 6 up of the findings. Put number 6 up.
Number 6.
Jefferson Campbell's testimony.
Okay. So
yeah, put Jeff's testimony.
That's all I'm asking for you.
Oh, he's the head of this.
Yeah, but I'm just asking you. So if you want to support Jefferson, we'll put Jefferson. I'm asking you. Yeah,
put it up, sir.
Because now we gotta watch you because you don't have your Bible with you. So we just gotta be clear here, right?
Yeah, but at least we get some chapter and what you call that being released by Jefferson Campbell. Jefferson is denying that he inducted into office the FIA. 2 months after that, he gave no release of money. And then that was concurred by the Minister of Justice. So the whole thing cooked up in the Ministry of Finance, transfer the money to a brand new institution, FIA, and the disbursement of that stuff.
The FIA was a brand new institution. You said brand new FIA?
No, it was changed from something else to FIA, and that's when Stanley went there. Yeah, read it.
Which I was still in. So again.
Stanton,
the act was, you say it was your Bible, right? Was it a 2016 act or was that act being amended?
No, this was a 2023 act. 2 months after that, the modification of the act. Are you seeing it?
All right. So the modified
Number
2023.
five of the findings.
Yeah. So the modified 2023, right?
Yes.
So it means that national
2
security.
months after that, Mr. Minister of Finance and his Janga Co and all that group transfer money into FIA's account. The question, the best evidence is who authorized you to transfer that money. They're not going to go ask how the money was dispersed. National security can do anything. So this is where they're going to hold it. If he wants to prove that the president said it, they also show me the instrument.
Thank you, Colonel Gray.
And then
the same thing will hold you back, Colonel Gray. Could that instruction be verbal instruction? That's why you say you can't find your Bible.
It cannot be. That's why that's the transcript of the court.
But you say you have the amended version of the act. Why can't you open it?
It cannot be. There's no verbal.
But you say, is it written that there's no verbal? Can you show it to us? How the instruction should be made? Can you tell us?
Go to the transcript of the court.
Let's go. Let's go to the act. Let's go to the act.
No, the act is one thing.
I believe I just wanted to say.
Dr. Richardson will give you the chance to close. Councilor, let you go last. Then Dr. Richardson will close. Then we'll move on because she got to go. Councilor, again, let's put politics aside. The act is right there. Anybody can open it and read it. There is nothing that the president should instruct. If anybody find it, please send it to me. Should give instruction as a written instruction or verbal instruction. I'm out wrong, Councilor. Everything you know. Do we have anything? Excuse me, man. Chief,
let me ask you a question.
Chief, wait, let me finish. Chief, let me finish. I beg you, Chief. No. Let me hold you. I beg you, Chief. Hold on 1 minute. Let me hold you. Councilor, I beg you, Colonel Gray. If it there, just call it and send it to us. We've been waiting for it. You say you can't find it. So yeah, now you find it, send it to us. Do we have any written instruction or verbal instruction in the act as to how the president should tell his minister within the national security apparatus to implement his instruction, Councilor Gould?
That I have to research because it's just coming up. I cannot speak to it directly. I need to look at the National Security Intelligence Act, I think of 2011, and see whether there's anything there that requires the president to mandate his agent, and in writing, because the president is the chairperson of the council, and so all of those persons work under him as his agent. So I don't know. I cannot speak to it directly. I need to research it. But generally speaking, I mean, in terms of our governance, we know the president can pick up a phone. We know the president can even send a text message through WhatsApp, and and instruct his subordinate to take action. The only thing here is wherein when the court requires that there should be proof that the president gave the instruction, then there were now the president may come in to say, because there's this argument that the president cannot come to testify when he leaves power. But the court doesn't say so. The law doesn't say so. The law says the president cannot be subpoenaed, but the president cannot be summoned. The law doesn't say the president can on his own walk to court and give testimony. The law doesn't say the president cannot be named as a witness. The law, he can be summoned, he can be subpoenaed. But when I'm a defendant, I call the president and say, my witness is President Eddie Johnson. The court should not be and should not deny her. But when you request the court to subpoena, then it will become an issue. So when you say the president gave you verbal instruction and the court wants proof, because on the law will say oral testimony doesn't get written. So the court wants proof of that, then it will require that the president come and say, yes, I did it. Simple.
Okay, but you say you got to research whether it's in the act that's
because if it is in the law, that the president must give written, then that's a law. But if it's in the law that the president can instruct, and it doesn't say whether written or oral, then the president can use any means by instructing his agent to act.
Thank you very much. We'll wait for the Bible to come back to Councilor to Conor Gray, then we'll take it from the Dr. Richard said, we know you got to run. There's somebody found out waiting for Conor Gray. Fernando Josh Davis to show that to us.
No, I'm saying something, Stanton.
I just want to I just want to thank all of you guys for listening and also for participating in this discussion. Is a good discussion for Liberians to be informed and also to learn or not learn this great information that we're discussing. You asked a good question here tonight that have me thinking for days. Stanton, I'm sure we have a lot of the panelists thinking for days about, was he at the crime scene? Can we put him at the crime scene? Is that what is required legally, that instead of having preponderance of the evidence, there's a certain percentage of the evidence can tie him to being at the crime scene, or does he have to be proven beyond reasonable doubt? So those are the questions that we have to ask here. He's been charged with economic sabotage, which means that he's intentionally or maliciously tried to destabilize our economy by corruptly using money. He's been charged with criminal conspiracy. He's been charged with bribing, facilitation. That's another word for bribing. So can we actually pin him to those charges? Given what you said, and something tells me there's more to this that we're not discussing. Center, when you start asking these kind of questions and having a show like this, little I know about you, that means there's something down the pipe. So, but anyway, thank you guys. We'll wait until we see how this case unfolds. Thank you. Something down the pipe. Yeah. Then I got more than
only you on the show know me very well, because that's something we've been digging and we're realizing that something did there. If they say something did there, we understand. That Richard say have a good working evening, and we see the ball by God's grace.
Yes.
When for us, so your beautiful cousin and Lord leaving the show. Thank God for that. Let me bring to your attention while we close, and this is my closing. When we ask the question whether or not they were authorized, let's put this up, and then we close. No, not this, man. Wait a thing here. Not this. All right, let's put this up, right? It's saying on March 14, 2024, the LDCC invited Mr. Cooper. No, I'm going to put it up, not this one, not Mr. Cooper invitation. I'm going to put what I need to put up. Bear with me 1 minute. Okay. All right, let me put this up. It's very important because now we are looking for smoke, the smoking gun here. And I want to say to all of you, we will invite you. We get other conversation to go to. We will invite you shortly. Let me put this one up. This is the unique one. This is it. That on July 5th, 2023, a letter was referenced, blank, 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 under the signature of Mr. Jefferson Camus, then National Security Advisor to former President George M. Weah, was addressed to Mr. Stanley Ford, Director General of the FIA, informing him, that the FIA has been designated by the National Security Council as a member of the National Joint Security Council with a signed security code 800. And as per the content of the letter, it was written on the basis of a prior request made by the FIA and upon review of the FIA Amended Act of 2022, which expand and strengthen the FIA law enforcement power. That the investigation established no proof of documentary evidence that the FIA as an institution or its Director General requested to the Minister of Justice. This is unique. But can we use this? Can we use this to say that everything, now we can go up, we come down. The only thing we want to establish, and that's what you need to take home here. Let's put Simon Tuet on the crime scene. You heard from Fubi, you heard from Jefferson, you heard from Winfred, McConnell, and Remy Gray. The counselor here, the real counselor, not the one that check coming in, Jefferson Chelsea. No, the true counselor. We are from Dr. George, Dr. Richardson, Tiwano Kai, my fellow Liberian. The money was taken out. Everybody agreed that money now is between Stanley Ford, FIA, and that of the Joint Security. And the Joint Security includes the former Defense Minister Zianga, the former National Security NSA Director Pearson, both of them in this government, the Justice Minister, whether the proper or the acting at the time, the National Security Advisor to the President, I think they serve as secretary to that committee, and the Finance Minister. Among them all, and many more that we don't know about probably. Can we say here today that this information need more clarification? Was the money sent to FIA? Yes. The FIA received the money? Yes. They admitted that they received the money. So what happened with the money between FIA and the Jones Security? That's where we got problem. So I don't know, should we take calls or we'll just continue and take call at the end? What you guys suggest? I want to bring in the rest of the story tonight. Would you continue? Take calls at the end? I just need 2 yes or 2 no. 2 yeses or 2 no.
Let's just close up on this topic. Then we'll
no, we finish closing out. We finish closing out, Jeff. We finish closing out. We're done. We're done, my brother Jeff. You spoke already. You the only thing you did, you want people on. I want to announce you. I want to announce you.
Chief of Staff, right?
Don't talk.
That George.
Councilor Gould, the Chief of Staff is part of the National Security Council, right? So the former Chief of Staff is the NSA.
When I hear you go, you gotta unmute yourself.
Yeah, even the LDA is part of the National Security Council.
So Stanton, you have to increase your list. The former Chief of Staff is down there. How they call it?
But that's what I said. It's not the NSA director.
The FBO is part. The LDA.
All those people were excluded. All of them. Only 3 people operated.
We are saying who part of this thing. No, Pearson was included. You're wrong. He was. Pearson was included. Don't let us post something that outside can agree. Don't challenge us. He was included, please, brother.
These are
the things you can do when we start putting the national security team outside. Then they start saying, "But who gave it to Stanton?" They were included. They are informed. They are aware. They were part of this transaction. Whether they took the money or not, we cannot tell. Zianga was solely involved. Pearson, he knew about the transaction during the election period. He knew where the money was coming from. They were included. So let's just leave it. I like what Councilor Gould said. It's in a court. Augustine Fire now will have to do his magic as the lead prosecutor here, Solicitor General for the country, to really win the case against Samuel Twain. If you hold Rob Bush, and it will amaze you when some of the information start coming up, hell will break loose. So therefore, they will not bring it up. And Councilor Gould is right. I'm going to say this to all Liberians. That money came, that everybody have, people named that we call in today, the allegation that they received part of that money for the national security operation. They did. AFL received part of that money. The Justice Ministry received part of that money. You're not allowed to talk. The people know. Whether they receive 100,000, 150,000, they receive part of that money. The Executive Marshal EPS received part of that money. You're not allowed to talk on this issue, folks. We are too informed with this operation. If you guys can remember, I put national security briefing out here the other day when it was leaked on social media. This thing, people are talking. But they allow Augustine Fire, the Solicitor General, and his team to fight a good fight. They receive the money, they know exactly what's happening, and they need to talk. And they are talking. They have spoken to most of them. They are talking. They are talking, Fubi. They're watching you right now. They listen to you. They know who opening politics. So what are the way they will jail Samuel 12 for their money or jail for political reason? We'll wait and see. But the guys then know where that money came from. They know where that money went. They all were part of the fraud, and they shouldn't think that people are stupid. But you know what? They're in government, some of them. So ladies and gentlemen, I do not want to get into LeBron National Security Affairs. I will leave it with Councilor Gu and the rest of them. But to tell you the truth, the trace of the money, when it came in, the only thing people can argue, Emmanuel George. Some people take plenty, some people take small. Some ministers take 250,000, some ministers take 50,000. That's what hurts the people. You laughing, Councilor? I would rather want to talk, but something I don't want to be, you know, when the money came out. So, Councilor, know what I'm saying? Some people walk with 150,000. They in it. And some people walk with 50,000. So now they look at Councilor running away because you know where I'm going. Let me lead into it. I don't want to get involved with that one. So it's the degree and the amount of money that they administrated. Some people vet. People say, remember, you left only 75,000, but you took 300,000. So it's about how much you take. But the money went out, folks. The money went out. The people will decide. The judges will decide. I want to play this video because this thing I went to the Supreme Court. What I received, the information I received today, it's very important that we finish with the Samuel 12 story. That the Clark Hope Foundation went to the Supreme Court, right, Russell? I'm informed through my sources. I may be wrong. These are our sources. That what we are saying, the Clark Hope Foundation, let me play the video because I really get into like this school, the Clark Hope Foundation school, and like the way in which the children, they're training the children. And each time I see, you know, President, we are web. You know, she get beautiful all the time, but let me mind my business. That Emmanuel George want me to say that one. Let's play the school thing. Let's leave the woman alone.
You know it, say amen. Amen. If you're happy and you know it, say amen. Amen. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, say amen. Amen. And if you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet. Oh.
So the reason why I played that, right? I received information that they will deny Clark Hope Foundation the request. You know, they went to the Supreme Court now. They went to the Supreme Court. It's good that we have Councilor Gu here. And I want us to just touch base on it quickly. Russell, they believe the councilor said yesterday, they said the councilor was right. They will treat the entity, the Clark Hope Foundation, as a third party, and the Supreme Court will deny her the request, and they will force her to go back to the lower court and give those documents that as a recovery asking for. And if she denies, she refuses, the court will take action. So my question is, would this government close down and send the children home if that happened? Russell.
It's going to be a difficult thing for this government, considering how important we all know education is and how we want to ensure that every kid is in school and is learning and is participating in the education system. But the law is the law, Stanton. So if that's what the law is calling for, I mean, that's what the law is calling for. And sometimes you have to go that direction to ensure that people are abiding by the law of the land. And they, I mean, this whole deal about impunity is what is hanging over everything. So if she goes to the lower court and the lower court says that the documentations that are needed, those documentations must be provided, and if they refuse to provide those documentations, and if the government may have no other alternative than to to shut them down, they is just going to disenfranchise and victimize a whole bunch of kids. But at the end of the day, the law is the law, and I will support the side of us ensuring.
So I agree, the law is the law. So when they refuse, the law will be the law. With the government, should the government go and close the place down and send us to them? What do you think the end game should be now?
Oh yeah, I mean, if that's what it comes down to, I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, if that's what the government feels has to be done to ensure that the laws are carried out and they'll follow through.
Politically, politically, you think it will be the best thing to do.
Yeah, again, I mean, politically, I mean, like what we're seeing with the demolition, for example. I mean, a lot of people are looking at the humanitarian aspects of them. There are other folks too who are looking at the law. If the laws are being violated, this is what the law is saying. And this government, at least from what is shown, using the demolition as an example, for example, is that this government is willing to abide by the law.
Okay, thank you. So let me bring in Kev. Let me bring you in, then we'll go to the rest of the guys. Though, if what my brother Winfred Russell is saying, we'll come to you, Councillor. I'm deeply concerned. Shut the place down, send the student home, send the babies back to who? Because these are, I'm hearing that these are some adopted kids. I mean, what would this government do? What can this government do if the whole Cloud Foundation in contempt? Can you meet yourself, Winfred Russell? Can you reach yourself, Russell? How can you forget that you're on the show? Go ahead, Kev.
Stanton, you are correct. That's exactly what we're hearing they're going to do. Russell said the law is the law. The first thing, it's not the law to separate Clawia from and the foundation and say that we use the foundation as a third party. So what they're doing is, this is what that's the maneuvering they went to, as the councillor were explaining yesterday. So they pick up that, and that's what they go into, because they know they cannot, the Supreme Court will now uphold that lower court. So what they're doing is they're trying to plead that case. Their goal is to shut down, and we know that it's to shut down that facility, put these children back on the streets, and let the children languish on the streets, and claim the victory because we shut George Weah and his family down. That is the achievement. That's what they want to do. That they're craving for that. They're craving for that. They know there's no there. They know there's nothing there. They know, the councillor know. But the idea is, when you shut the place down and you put these children up the street, they enjoy destroying the legacy of George Weah. That is the plan. That is what the mastermind is. That's what they want to do. So if they go with that to the court, I hope and pray that this Supreme Court will save Liberia. They will try to save Liberia, because they don't want to set a precedent that we follow that vicious cycle. We pray that this court will not allow this government, what this government is doing now, what the government is doing.
Thank you.
For future and issue for this to come.
Thank you very much, Cap.
It's very
Thank you. Let me announce that tomorrow we'll be having Councillor Lafayette Good. Now, Councillor Lafayette Good is the cousin to this Councillor Lafayette. I don't know what you guys get the same name. The ANC party chairman. Yeah, let me put it that way, because why your parents get you the same name? That's why behind
Orisha Blue.
All right, Orisha, okay. We'll be having Councillor Anthony. Which one it is? Orisha Blue.
Councillor now. Councillor.
You Councillor now, okay. We'll be having Councillor, the one with the young baby. Yeah, the baby is 6 months old now. Yeah, that distinguished like that. We'll be having Unity Party Chairman, Councillor Horatio Gould, will be on tomorrow.
Unity Party?
ANC.
Thank you very much. You're paying attention. We'll be having the ANC Party Chairman, Councillor Horatio Gould, here on Spoon tomorrow. We'll be discussing issue about ANC and national concerns. This is very, very important. It will be a big one. Come 4 o'clock, 8 p.m. Liberian time. We're going to have him for 2 hours only. We got a lot to discuss about. You remember he represents Brian McGill. What's his name? Brian McGill, right? McGill Brian, something. The guy that was alleged that he raped the 14-year-old girl. He will be discussing now. We'll be discussing the ANC party tomorrow. Guess what happened? We heard that Mr. Cummings is on his way, if he's not here yet, to America, talking about raising $1 million or more. We'll be talking about the new Cummings, the new ANC. We want to invite you, please set your time, 8 p.m. Liberian time. Horatio Gould, Councillor Horatio Gould will be our guest. He will be discussing a whole round of issues about opposition unity. How can a unity party win? How can an ANC win? How can a CDC win? How can a CMC win? And there's a little, conflict between the CMC and the ANC. I want to ask the ANC party chairman, why are they against Musa Hassan Berete? What's the problem?
What they say?
Okay. Why are they against Musa Hassan Berete? Why are they fighting Chairman Berete, the political leader of CMC Berete? What's going on? You guys should be opposition, but you guys are fighting each other. Now, I want to say to you, it will be an interesting conversation. But let's get back to this.
But how can you accuse us of fighting?
We got to get to the cloud. We got to finish it.
But you accuse us of fighting. We have known a lot of people.
And gentlemen, thank you for your support. The network just bought Councillor Gould Starlink. It will be up tomorrow. I can announce it. We're able to get a Starlink for Councillor Gould. Councillor Gould, thank you. Councillor, but let me hear you, my friend. On the Cloud Hope Foundation, my sources confirm. My sources are very important. I believe them. The quote, you don't have to believe me, but my sources are always right. The court will be ruled against the Cloud Hope Foundation. And if that happened, and the Cloud Hope Foundation, what I'm hearing, they're going to say, listen, we got no document to say you guys. If the court hold them in contempt, will the government shut down the foundation and send the kids home? Councillor Gould.
No, so Stanton, the thing about it, there are two things. Two things about defiant and admitting that, oh, yeah, you asked me, but I don't have it. It's in the hands of somebody. So there are two different things. If you reply and say, I don't have anything, in fact, I'm not giving you anything because it's against me, then that's defiant. But if you say, oh, no, we don't have it, what you asked me for, it's not there, then that's a different story. But let me just make the clarification that somebody said they'll close the school, the picture will go home. No. Let's agree that probable cause is established. You have to draw up an indictment or a complaint. That is from the state. The prosecution will determine from the investigation and say, oh yeah, something happened. Crime was committed and this woman is connected to the crime, will hold to the crime. So you got to draw up an indictment if it is an indictable offense, or you got to file a formal complaint if it is a misdemeanor to the ministerial court. You have to go for trial. If you believe, if the investigation establishes says that the property is a proceed of crime, then they can move for the property to be frozen, right, to be seized in that event because it's a fixed asset. So the property will be seized and will be operated, and by the assets recovery body, because there's a lot of past that talk about the Ministry of Justice even establishing an assets recovery office. So the school will still be running. Seizing the school doesn't mean that it will not be running. It will still be running. Children go to school. but the management of the school will be on a different arrangement because it's been ceased. The matter will go to the court. Everybody will go there, present evidence, and if the person is found guilty, the person automatically will take an appeal. If there's a ministerial court, the person will go to the circuit, from the circuit to the Supreme Court. Wherever will they go to the Supreme Court? So it's a long process. It's not today. When you finish with that, then you have to move for confiscation. Because when you identify the property as a proceed of crime, you must be able to determine the amount of the public resources that were used on the property, you know what I'm saying, from the amount that was legally acquired to use on the property. You cannot declare the whole property as a proceed of the crime. So the value of the property will be taken into consideration, and then you have to move for confiscation. You got to go to the court again and prove that the property worth $1 million, and all of the $1 million, $200,000 or $300,000 from the government was used on the property, for which we have gotten conviction. That conviction has been confirmed, and so we want the property to be at an auction, right? And then when it's auction is sold, the government can retrieve the money. The balance money go to the owner, because the land is a different thing other than the structure that own the land. So it's a whole long process. So let us not give up and say, we'll close the school, the children will be going. No, the whole process, the school can be running.
But it will be under different management. That's your argument. It will be under the government now.
Yeah, okay. If you get to that level, once you get to that point, if you get to that point with the evidence, it will be on a different level. It will be seized on a different administration, or the administration there will be managed by the team based on what the law provides, while the case is continuing in the court.
So let me say this as usual. I know we'll come back to you, Councillor. Councillor, I know we'll come back to you guys. I want to say to all of you, a better interesting show. Those of you on the radio line, like we always say, by 11:30, we got to excuse you off because we're still here online, on YouTube, on Facebook, but we got to excuse our producer. So therefore, we will be shutting down the radio. Voice of Liberia continues. I do believe, right, Dama? But the Spoon FM, the Super FM, the Fabric FM will be shutting the radio audience down. Those of you joining us by way of Facebook, social media, YouTube, we want to say thank you. Continue with us as we move on. Again tomorrow, those of you on the radio land, we will be having Urusha Gu. Councillor Urusha Gu will be our guest, the ANC political party chairman. We'll be discussing a lot of stuff. The way forward for Mr. Cummings, his party, and what is going on between ANC and CMC. You want to hear that, join us tomorrow. I'd like to say to every one of you on the radio land, thank you for joining us today. You can now turn to your social media if you want to follow the show. Damas Langer, thank you. And we'll see you tomorrow by God's grace.
So I'm going to close?
No, go ahead now. We continue on the show, but finish your statement, sir.
Yeah. So let us not let anyone panic that the school will close, the children will be running the street. No. It's a process. It's a long, because there's just the investigation. After the investigation is conducted and they find probable cause, they will have to move for indictment or complaint. You have to go for trial. You have to find the woman guilty. You have to connect the property to the offense. If the property values $1 million,